Welcome back to Porcupine Stadium in Springtown, Texas. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, and John Leidy down on the sidelines. He was in for the coin toss a moment ago, and McKinney Boyd has won the toss. They elected to actually, they deferred, and they will receive the second half. They'll kick off here.
Typical strategy we've seen out of Boyd. You know, that extends down from north. If they have their chance, they want to receive in the second half. And you know what? I like that. I always have.
Going over the starting lineup for McKinney Boyd tonight, since they'll be coming out on defense first, we'll have Justin Cordova up front, the senior. Reese Redmond, another senior up front, as Springtown makes their way out on the field. The sophomore Keith Owens will be the third down lineman. The linebackers for McKinney Boyd are Cameron Mazer, Ryan Garrett, Jamal Miner, the leading tackler of the 22, and Matt Morton. The safeties are Philip Sears, who was the quarterback last year, now has added about 15 pounds and placed himself in the defensive backfield, along with Jacob Sigler, a transfer from Allen. On the offense for the Springtown Porcupines, up front, DJ Corral, the left tackle. The left guard is Casey Calloway. Center, John Mulholland. The right guard, Justin McNeely. The right tackle, Josh Mattix. The wide receivers, Cash Snell and Clayton Cooper and Rhett Ballard. And the slot is Andrew Haddock. In the backfield, you'll remember from last year, Raphael Kubrak. And this year, no, the coach's son graduated. He's at SMU. Kyle Wilson will be the quarterback in tonight's contest, 6 foot, 190-pound senior so far this year, 43 out of 84, 3 interceptions, 497 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's thrown at least one pick in each of his 3 games. Here's the national anthem. No, that's not a helicopter. That was the drums in the middle of that national anthem. So we talked last year. We got to talking a little bit about that game, how the wide receiver went crazy and caught 5 touchdowns.
Jesse Hodge
from quarterback, I think his name was Landon Turner a year ago. Of course, the coach's son. Why is it that you never see the coach's son play right guard? They're always the quarterback, right?
It's a good question. Real quick, Monty, before the kickoff, we just want to, unfortunately not everyone can see this because, it's radio, but if you look out just beyond the visitors' bleachers here, you literally see like a wall of green, which is the trees, and then a little hill goes down and goes up, and it kind of fades off into the blue in the sunset. This is really a gorgeous view that we have here.
It is very nice. McKinney Boyd lining up. They will be moving right to left. Of course, Springtown moving left to right. Let's give you the picture here. Springtown in their black helmets, black uniforms, really electric orange pants with the black belt. It kind of looked like, if you're from North Texas area, maybe a little bit of Tom Bean-ish, something like that. As McKinney Boyd will fake the onside kick.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of comparable uniforms.
They look like Florida, but not.
Kicking off for McKinney Boyd will be Philip Richardson. Stand 10 yards deep, take a running effort, kick this one. It's a low, short kick, bounces up to 25, goes out of bounds. That'll be a penalty. Delay of game on McKinney Boyd. So
really a smart play out there by the potential returner. Bounced at the 25, made a curve, and then just let that one go.
We'll have to check down with John Leidy here in just a moment.
And that was Josh Mendenhall, who was fairly wise to let that one bounce.
Well, the McKinney Boyd Broncos will come out, of course, on defense first. Again, Springtown moving left to right. They're going to take the ball at the 30-yard line after the penalty. Springtown offense, well, not so much on the ground and a little bit more through the air. They are 0-3 on the season. Last week, they only rushed for 76 yards and only threw it for 114 for a combined 190. They only have 760 yards of offense so far through 3 games. Shotgun formation, and the toss into the flats to the left side. And that's going to be Kubrak who makes the catch. A nice gang tackle there by McKinney Boyd, possibly behind the line of scrimmage. Cameron Mazer makes the stop, and it'll be second down. Might have lost a yard there.
Yeah, also in on the tackle was Phillip Sears, and that was a really well-read job by those 2 defensive players. It was just a simple pass out to the left side, although the quarterback really kind of scripted that one from the beginning. He almost knew it was going to the left side because he looked and stood there for about 2 seconds. Second
down and 10. They'll say no gain as Wilson is in shotgun formation. This is a McKinney North-looking offense. And Wilson will throw it out and incomplete at the 35-yard line, trying to hit his receiver, Danny Ferguson, who just dropped it. He was wide open. Would have had, obviously enough for the first down, but it fell right out of his hands.
Yeah, and that was a really much better passing combination there. The receiver, again, ball was thrown before he turned around, and if he can do that, the defense rarely has a chance to get to it.
Ballard split out wide to the near side. Cass Snell in the shot. Wilson drops back 3 steps, looks over to the left side, throws it. A nice catch right at the first down marker and out of bounds by Clayton Cooper. Cooper has 2 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown coming in, and he has one right there. I guess the big touchdown for Cooper came a couple of weeks ago, the 76-yard variety.
Yeah, just a simple out pattern to get the ball thrown while it was in the air.
They didn't make the first down. Here it is, 4th and short, maybe a foot, and they're going to sneak it and obviously get it by about 5 yards. Wilson, a big quarterback, 6 foot, 190-pound senior, and he just moved his way and moved the pile about 4 yards. So an easy first down for Springtown at the 45-yard line, just shy of Boyd territory.
Yeah, greater 99% of the time, if a shotgun quarterback gets under center in a short to-go situation, it's going to be a sneak.
First down and 10, shotgun. Wilson throws it out to the left side. It's caught into Boyd territory at the 49-yard line, McKinney Boyd territory. They'll get confused over here because Boyd is also in the area over here. About a 6-yard gain for Springtown. Will bring up second down and 4.
And that was Andrew Haddock. Haddock, in his first 3 games of the season, he's had 2 games with 6 receptions. Getting started here early.
3 receivers to the near side and 1 to the far. Moving left to right is Springtown. Wilson, shotgun, has Kubrak by him, and there's some movement up front on the right side of the offensive line. I think that's going to be, I thought it was 72. The right guard, they'll have to see if he was. There was some movement also on the left side of the defensive line for McKinney Boyd, so they're trying to sort this out.
Well, and the thing is, the defense can move all they want to as long as they don't make contact. I mean, you can cross the line. But
it was Brett Casey who was playing right guard for Springtown, and apparently this was he was forced to move.
Well, and that's the thing. The only thing you can do is make a motion to make the offense move, and you can't make contact. No, those are the 2 caveats. But other than that, defense can do what they want to. But the officials in this case ruled the motion was enough to make the offensive lineman move.
And that will give Springtown a first down at the 45-yard line, 44-yard line, call it, in McKinney Boyd territory. Fake the hand to Kubrak, throws out right in the slot, has it at the 40 down to the 37-yard line. And on the catch is Andrew Haddock for Springtown. 9:36 left to go in the first quarter. No score here at Pojo Stadium, or Porcupine Stadium in Springtown, Texas. Matt Morton on the stop.
Yeah, this is a situation. This defense is not quite good enough to give up first downs on a penalty like they did the last play.
Kubrak sees his first carry of the night on 2nd and 3, and he'll gain about 1.5 yards, maybe about a yard. They bring up 3rd and short. Kubrak on the season, 37 carries, 154 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Last week he had 13 carries for 54 yards.
You got to admit, this offense moves fast in between plays, too.
They don't take a lot of time, do they?
I might not get a lot of talking time today.
Shotgun, which, hey, some people might like.
Yeah, I get the emails.
Shotgun for Wilson. Doesn't even move his feet when he throws, but, hey, he connects once again, and it's caught by Rhett Ballard at the 28-yard line. Another first down for Springtown, and they're moving the ball at will right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, you know what? There's one huge adjustment I would make if I was a coach for the Broncos. The quarterback is looking where he's going to throw as he gets the ball. I mean, that should tell you right where it's going before you can be there before the receiver makes the break. See that?
Wilson throws out to the left side, and this one falls incomplete. He hasn't thrown too many incomplete passes tonight.
Just the second of the night.
And the first one was dropped.
And that was Snell trying to make the catch over there. It was just a little bit too far out for him to catch. He got his hands on it, but he had to really make a pretty good dive to go out there and get it.
Yeah, he was stretching for it. But again, just watch the next play. He's going to illustrate where he's throwing to.
Snell being 5'8", needed to be about 6 foot on that one. Here's Wilson, drops back about 5 yards from center in shotgun formation. Kubrak stands directly to the right of him, maybe about a yard gap between them. Second down and 10. This is going to be a quarterback keeper up the middle, and Wilson has a pretty big gainer, about 11 or 12-yard gain. It'll be another first down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 8:25 left to go first quarter. No score, Springtown and McKinney Boyd.
The worst thing a defense can do is second-guess where they're going. They need to know right off the bat. They didn't know he had the ball.
Wilson wants to throw left side, throws it, and it's in and out of the hands once again. And that's Snell. No, that's Haddock again in the slot. And that one falls incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. And, man, do they love to throw the football.
Yeah, absolutely. The key thing for me to see is how they adjust. Because right now they're getting shredded.
Coming into tonight, Wilson had thrown the ball 84 times in 3 games. He may get that tonight.
He may get it on this drive.
Second down and 10. Kyle Wilson will stand in shotgun. 3 receivers to the right. Kubrak to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff Kubrak. No, he fakes it, and he throws out to Haddock. And Haddock down to the 15, down to the 10. Fumble! Ball's on the turf, and I believe Haddock got back on it at the 10-yard line. And that's going to be just shy of the first down. The officials for tonight are from the Fort Worth Football Officials Association. The referee, Brian Jones. The umpire, Paul Myers. The lineman is Tim Head, the line judge Charles Saver, and this is Wilson, the quarterback, scrambling up the middle once again for about a 5-yard gain, and the back judge is Thomas Bean.
And again, they had a chance here, did the Bronco defense, to stop him on a third down situation. Again, Turner keeps it just for a scamper up the middle, gets the first down. Now it's first and goal and 6.
3 receivers to the left. Wilson wants to run the option, keeps it, and he's going to gain a couple of yards. A nice stop inside the 5-yard line by McKinney Boyd. He'll be marked at the 4-yard line.
I can't decide if that was a well-defended play or if Wilson read that wrong, because no one was actually on Kubrak, the pitch man, but Wilson turned it inside thanks to the play of the defensive end, Keith Owen.
Second down and goal from the 4, 7:17 left to go in the first quarter, no score. Springtown knocking on the board. Kubrak in the backfield. 2 receivers to either side. 3-step drop. Kubrak in the flat, and he's in for the touchdown. Springtown draws first blood tonight on a Wilson to Kubrak 4-yard touchdown with 7:04 left to go in the first.
Yeah, a nice drive put together by Springtown there. They never really looked like they didn't have a chance. There was that 4th down conversion, but that was 4th and inches, which is for the most part a given, but obviously not always. They're going to have to, the Broncos do a better job in the pass defensive game.
Here's a great high school football name, Montana Marsh, on for the extra point.
That's just a great football name.
Yeah, with Haddock on to hold, and it is blocked.
But we got a flag on the play, so we'll see.
Trying to find it was Philip Sears who came through and blocked. No, I take that back. I thought it was Sears, but I believe it was Minor. I'll tell you what, it was either Minor or it was Miller Burns.
Yeah, both of those have been pretty good. Now, here's the funny thing. Thanks to an offsides penalty, which obviously maybe now we know why it was blocked, you go half the distance to the goal, Springtown puts the ball on the 1.5-yard marker. So it looks like they're going to go for 2, which not a bad idea.
And they will go for 2. 2 receivers out on either side now. Once again, Kubrak in the backfield. Remember, he just scored when he ran out in the flat. And Wilson just dumped it right over the defensive end to him. So here we go, 6-0. They're going for 2 after the penalty. 7:04 left to go in the first. 6-0, Springtown on top. And there's another penalty on A.J. Jones. This one's going to be on A.J. Jones. They do, however, cross, so it'll be declined. It is 8-0. Springtown, who leads early on tonight with 7:04 left to go. 8-0. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Pojo Stadium in Springtown, Texas. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, and John Leidy. 7:04 left to go in the first. Springtown on the board, 8-0. And here's Springtown about to kick off. Montana Marsh kicks it high and not really deep, maybe about the 12-yard line. That's going to be taken, and up the near side comes A.J. Jones, shaking and baking at the 35 across to the 36-yard line. And how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay Lindley?
Real quick, 15 plays, 70 yards marched down the field by the Porcupines while running 4 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock, capped off by Wilson to Kubrak, 4-yard connection. And, of course, the 2-point conversion. It is now 8-0 Porcupines.
And we're going to come down to John Leidy right after this play. On first down, this will be the first play for McKinney Boyd tonight. Moving right to left is Boyd. Man in motion. They're going to fake the hand, and this is going to be the quarterback rolling to that very far corner, and that's Darren Alves that we've been talking about, the sophomore quarterback, and not a good first play for him as he runs behind the line of scrimmage. Let's talk down to John Leidy. John, go ahead.
Guys, just after that first drive right there for the Boyd defense, the coaches are not happy. The defensive linemen are not getting down all the way to the offsides. Not a surprise to see Darian Alves run that ball in the first play, but back up to y'all.
All right. Thank you very much, John Leidy. Second down, and about 12 as Alves wants to throw. Now he scrambles, comes up near side, crosses the 40, and knocked down after a pretty big gain. He's going to need 5 more for the first down, so about a 7-yard pickup there on second down will bring up 3rd and 5. 6:34 left to go in the first quarter. 8-0, Springtown on top.
Nice little scramble by our sophomore quarterback. The pocket started collapsing on the right side, but he had a lot of open room to run on the left, and that's what he did. He didn't even hesitate. His receivers were covered, and that's the kind of split second thinking you'd like to see out of a sophomore QB.
Man in motion, and that's going to be Robinson. He's going to fake the hand to Robinson. Alves in trouble and behind the line of scrimmage. Somehow gets out of it, but can't finally get out of the last tackle at the 30-yard line. A big loss of about 15 yards.
Actually, they lost the football.
Fumble on the play.
Oh, wow, I didn't even see that.
34. Let's see. Yeah, that's Josh Mendenhall. Picks that one up, and I mean, you got to tip your hat off to the sophomore. I mean, he has nothing to, that pocket collapse. Nice job by Springtown coming in on a blitz, but at some point or another, you're going to have to pick up more than 2 or 3 people. There were 4 people back there. He got hit, broke a tackle, got hit, broke another tackle. By that time, 3 more guys were there. So you got 2 sophomores on the offensive line with a sophomore quarterback. You expect to see those kind of things, but you'd also like to see not every play be that way.
Well, here comes Springtown back on the football field in pretty good field position at the Boyd 33-yard line. This is Wilson, wants to throw it down the field this time, and it's almost intercepted. A great play over the middle, and that was Jacob Sigler, the transfer from Allen, who knocked that ball away in a nice play.
Yeah, he was nice reading the field. It looks like that's what one of the coaches said to the safety, because these are the guys who see it most. Hey, the quarterback is looking where he's throwing. Go in there and disrupt the play, and that's exactly what he did, especially since it was a pass down the middle. He was reading the quarterback's eyes all the way.
Second down and 10. Rhett Ballard comes near side. It'll be Haddock in the slot. And Wilson, of course, the senior quarterback in shotgun formation, rolls out right, throws that way, and it is caught by Ballard. They'll say complete as he was hit, as he was going out of bounds, but they'll say he made the catch.
Yeah, and that's a tough, call to make, because it's not where did his feet land, it's where would they have landed if he wasn't hit, and that's very tough to do. But again, do you notice how the cornerback was reading where the eyes were?
About a 6-yard gain there on second down to bring up 3rd and 4 with 5:55 left to go in the first quarter. 8-0 Springtown already in the lead. Looking for more here with a big third down play for McKinney Boyd. They need to step it up right here on this third down. And on 3rd and 4, calling for the snap, taking their time, and they're going to hand off to Kubrak up the middle, big hole. Look out to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Porcupine touchdown in Springtown, and it's 14-0. Springtown in the lead. What that play was, it was one of those where you throw, and oh yeah, they have a running back there.
Yeah, and this is kind of reminiscent of the old run and shoot that you saw the old Houston Oilers of the 90s with Warren Moon at quarterback run. When you expect pass all the time, you're going into pass rush mode on the defensive line, and running backs love it when you do that.
Montana Marsh on for the extra point. It's up, and it is good. So 15-0, Springtown in the lead with 5:48 left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
And, of course, we'll keep it right here for the time being, and we'll get you that scoring drive recap. Real quick, Monty, 3 plays, 33 yards, 16 seconds ran off the clock by Springtown, and, of course, a nice 28-yard touchdown run by Raphael Kubrak.
Your American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap. American Bank, the key to your dreams.
Well, the nice thing about that drive were the first 2 plays for the Boyd Broncos, they were able to read the quarterback, the passing game a little bit more effectively. The first pass was an incompletion. The second pass, the cornerback was right there, and that really didn't happen at all in the first drive. So you've got at least a little hope, if you will, for what's coming up. But then at the same time, you start focusing squarely on the pass. Here comes the running back.
Well, and that's the thing that should scare Boyd fans right now. Coming into the night, that Mustang defense giving up just 71 yards a game on the ground. Right now, I've already given up 51 yards rushing to the Porcupines. So that's something for the Boyd defense to be aware of.
Well, here's Montana Marsh bringing his troops back on the field. They'll kick off here. Not as high as the last kick, but just as effective. Down to the 12-yard line. A.J. Jones picks it up right side. He breaks a couple of tackles, makes his way past the 40 to the 41-yard line, and that's where McKinney Boyd will set up shop, moving right to left.
Well, so far the kick return and the kickoff coverage team have been a pretty nice spot. The last 2 returns have netted decent yardage, and then, of course, on the first play, the coverage team was there even though the ball did roll out of bounds. Now what we're going to have to see, Monty, is a little bit of protection for our sophomore Darren Alves, because he just didn't get it on those first 3 plays.
You brought up Jones averaging 21 yards a return.
Well, here's Alves in shotgun formation, sending a man in motion, and he's going to quarterback keeper up the middle, darting and dancing his way for a couple of yards, and brought down after about a 3-yard gain. That's one of the hardest fought 3-yard gains you'll ever see by a 5'8" kid.
Yeah, and the nice thing about that is what it does, Monty, is it puts them on the offensive, if you will, instead of having to play defensive in the backfield, dancing between a defending rusher and looking for a receiver to throw to. Instead, give the kid the ball, let him run for it in a designed run.
Well, it'll be second down and about 7 here. And Alves wants to throw left side, and it's in and out of the hands of A.J. Jones. He's just trying to throw it out in the flats to him, and A.J. had it right in his hands. Saw the guy coming up, I think, and took his eye off the ball.
But again, what we saw was pressure coming. Alves had to throw it over the defensive end coming in, or was it the linebacker, Matt Pierce, coming from the left side. And when you have to throw over a guy when it's supposed to be a simple swing pass, you can have those kind of results.
3rd down and 7. Alves wants to throw it down the field, and it's caught, and that's going to be close to a first down. Very, very close. We're going to have to check down with John Leidy. John, tell us, how close was that one?
Guys, that's actually going to be close. I would be surprised if they don't bring the chains out here. That's going to be on the 49-yard line heading forward. They just signal first down. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot. John Leidy down on the sidelines, old Eagle Eye.
Yeah, much better than no, I'm just, I can't bring that up again. It's going to make a reference to our old sideline.
Hey, the first down of the night, right, Jay?
Yes, first down of the night.
Man goes in motion. That's Robinson. He stands behind in the backfield. Alves wants to run, rolling out left side. Now cuts it back. Tony Dorsett all the way across the field. Has a 5-yard gain and about a 7-yard gain to the 42-yard line. Going to be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down, but it'll be second down and short. 4:20 left to go in the first quarter. Springtown on top, 15-0.
Even though we haven't yet really witnessed what he can do with his arm, I really like what I see what he can do with his feet. I mean, that was a pretty quick sprint on a broken down play because Springtown had the complete left side blocked off. And so what he did is reverse field, and he out-sprinted 3 defenders. I mean that's really a nice job.
Interestingly enough, Alves coming into the night, only 2 games played, still second in the district in rushing.
A.J. Jones in motion, and he'll fake the hand. Alves wants to run again, and he tries to throw it, and it will fall incomplete. He was throwing it as he was falling down. A couple of flags here.
Well, we were going to have a personal foul, but it looked to me was that his arm was in motion. I mean, of course, it is a judgment call, but as he was falling, it looked like he was trying to throw to the outside. And of course, when you're getting hit, you're not going to be very accurate at all.
He didn't see the guy coming from behind him and tripped him up as he was trying to throw.
And the thing is that whistle is blown when the ball looks like it's incomplete when it hits the ground. We don't see a scrambling for the football. We don't see a late hit. We don't see anything like that.
Let's check down with John Leidy. John may have had a better look than what we had.
Guys, on that play right there, you got holding on the offense, and there was actually a late hit on the defensive end for the Springtown Porcupines. So it's going to be offsetting first down. Back up to y'all.
All right, John will sort this one out and see what they have. You may be correct.
Well, we did see their official signal for the personal foul.
And we did have a hold, a separate foul, so I think John's correct.
Okay.
We don't want to say that John, we don't trust John or anything.
Well, the thing is just trying to figure out why they go backwards forward. The penalty happened during the play, so what it would have been is 4th down since it was incomplete. And then after that, it's a dead ball personal foul, so you mark off the 15 yards. So that's why, in essence, they're gaining 5 yards, but they're also gaining a first down, if you will.
Well, it will be first down here. Alves sends a man in motion. Robinson behind him, and Alves gives the hand to Robinson up the middle. Nice gainer of about 5 yards up to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and so far this drive has looked really well, but in the exact opposite reason the Springtown drives have looked well. They've been able to put together some runs, some nice little gains on the ground, and Jay, you might be able to clue us in a little bit better. I don't think they have yet to have a pass completion on this drive.
Well, they had one pass completion, just one, for 7 yards earlier in the drive.
Alves in shotgun on second down and short, about 3 yards, and whistles will blow before this play can get underway. 3:10 left to go in the first. 15-0 Springtown on top.
Monty, got a little question for you here. A lot of times you can look at one thing that differentiates the good teams from the bad teams. Obviously, penalties. So the reason why you see a lot of bad teams have a lot of bad penalties, and for the most part, you don't see a lot of good teams with penalties. I mean, you looked at it; they were looking at 2nd and 3, and now they're at 2nd and 8 thanks to an illegal motion.
Same formation. A.J. Jones goes in motion. Alves throws, and he does not hit his receiver, Fuller. It was basically a screen pass to the near side, and it just undershot Fuller.
Yeah,
and which is, kind of hard to do. Fuller is about 6'3" or 4.
Well, it looked like he went between him and A.J. Jones out there in the flat. It's kind of a curious play.
3rd down and 8. Again, McKinney Boyd moving right to left. And Alves wants to throw, and Zach Jones makes the catch at the 30-yard line. It'll be shy of the first down at the Springtown 30-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and short. So decision time here, and I think that Don Drake is going to keep the offense on the field on 4th and 3 at the Springtown 30.
Yeah, because this is a tough range to be a 47-yard field goal, which is very hard to do in the high school ranks. But on the other end of the side, you'll gain at most 10 to 20 yards in the punt. So this is a good call right here.
4th and 3. A.J. Jones in motion from the slot to the tailback position. Running the option is Alves. Cuts it upside, and he has a lot of running room. Dives over the top of one defender down to the 10-yard line. A great athletic move by the quarterback. Darren Alves, the sophomore quarterback, just hurdles one defender on his way to the first down mark.
Nice job by the sophomore. He saw a gap, and so, I mean, you just see an explosion when he sees right where he wants to go, and that is very hard to defend for a defender who's going in a different direction. So that was a great job, and I just really quickly want to mention, a couple plays ago, I mentioned it was A.J. Jones. I got him confused with Zach Jones there. He was the one who made the catch prior, and you think that might have been who he was trying for 2 plays ago. So I just want to avoid the emails, if you will, and give the proper kid the credit.
Here is McKinney Boyd on first down, and Alves will run the option to the left side, and he keeps it again. No, he pitches it out. That's Zach Jones, and it's touchdown time in Texas.
We'll see how long it lasts. A beautiful pitch by Alves, hit Jones in stride, but unfortunately in the middle of the field we see a flag.
Yep, there is a flag laying about the 7-yard line.
And usually when it comes from the back judge, it's in the case of a holding. But in this case, we got a personal foul in the middle of a play, and that's something you don't see very often.
Well, they'll bring this one back here.
Again, penalties. The South Lake Carrolls of the world don't make penalties like this.
That's going to be the 6th penalty of the night against McKinney Boyd. That's 6 penalties for 32 yards.
And keep in mind, they had one declined on a 2-point conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you look at it, they were looking at the ball at the 17-yard line or so. Now all of a sudden, it's backed up to the 31.
Shotgun for Alves, drops back 3 steps, heaves it towards the end zone, firing it down deep for A.J. Jones, and it's incomplete, about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Man, so it'll be second down. Let's check down with let's go ahead and check down with John Lighty down on the sidelines. John, what do you got for us?
This actually is for Brandon. That last penalty right there was a personal foul on the McKinney Boyd running back who was actually running the ball. Back up to y'all.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Can we possibly get John to elaborate how the guy with the ball gets a personal foul?
How does the guy with the ball get a personal foul?
I'm curious. We'll have to ask him at some point.
Okay. Here's Alves rolling out left side, looking to run. Now he tucks it up at the 30, 25, and out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And again, you've got to go a long, long way for a first down, as this one was. You needed at one point to get to about the 6-yard line for the first. And, of course, that penalty bunched them way back. So with the ball now on third down at the 21, it'll be 3rd and 13 with 1:46 left to go in this very long seeming first quarter.
Yeah, they need to get to the 7, so, they can do it. And this could be 2 down territory, total 4 down territory, 2 more downs next.
A.J. Jones in motion from the slot to the halfback. He gets the toss on the pitch. Out to the 10 and down to about the 11-yard line. It's kind of hard to see here in this press box because we're so low to the field.
And then we're looking at the opposite end of the field. Nice job there on A.J. Jones with the pitch. He did something that's really a golden rule when you run the ball. Don't stop moving your feet. And he was hit, and so what he did, he was off balance, but he kept moving those feet. Gained about an extra 3-4 yards out of the deal.
So 4th down here. And it'll be Travis Yarborough on for about a 28-yard attempt here. High snaps down on the tee. Kick is up. It's barely going to make it. No, I didn't think it had legs. It did not make it, just short of the goalpost and maybe to the right. 57 seconds left to go in the first, and we still have not seen a point on the board for McKinney Boyd. It's 15-0 Springtown.
Penalties.
Yep.
That's there you go. And according to John, it was pretty close, just a little bit to the right. It had enough distance, and I'm not quite sure what happened because Yarborough generally is fairly good, especially close range like that, but I don't think he quite hit it properly.
He did hit a 30-yarder last week against Denton. But I guess the good news for McKinney Boyd fans is for the first time, Springtown's going to start way deep in their own territory here from their own 20-yard line. It'll be shotgun for Wilson who has 3 receivers to the left side, wants to throw it to the right, however. The hitch and go, deep ball, and he overshoots his receiver, Rhett Ballard, by about 4 yards.
Well, what you hear all of a sudden, a commotion, is out there in coverage for the Broncos was Lamar Peoples. He made contact with the receiver who was coming in on the other side, Rhett Ballard, and Ballard, instead of running that little hitch and go, or rather running that little turnaround, was running a hitch and go. And so Jacob Sigler bid on the play, essentially, made contact with the receiver. And actually, no, it's not even Sigler. It's actually Parker Belinius. We'll get it right.
2nd down and 10 for Springtown from their own 20-yard line. This is going to be a handoff to Kubrak. Wilson may have actually kept it.
Yep.
And not much doing there as McKinney Boyd pushes him back. It'll be 3rd and long for Springtown. Under 40 seconds now in the first quarter.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the defense adjust. So you saw in that last play, Parker, while he made contact, and whether it was a penalty or not, I could see both sides of the thing. Thing is he was reading the quarterback. And then on this play, you saw the defensive line not give up a run, which, they were going in pass mode just like that. So it's good to see them adjust, at least on these 2 plays. But again, we've got a key 3rd down coming up here.
About 3 seconds difference in the play clock and the game clock at 10 on the game clock. Here's Wilson, pumps. Now he wants to throw downfield to the other side. Has his man, and it's incomplete. Great coverage on that far side, and I believe that is Peoples.
Yep.
Peoples on the coverage there against the wide receiver Clayton Cooper on that far side. And it just goes right through his hands, but it was great coverage.
Well, and Peoples was right there, and it's a lot easier to have a ball go through your hands when you're fighting good coverage.
So it'll be 4th down, and I believe for the first time tonight we'll see the punter for Springtown, and that will be Kyle Wilson, who is also, by the way, the quarterback.
Should do like last week and just do a quick kick.
Philip Sears will stand at, now he backs up to the 50-yard line. Wilson, the right-footed punter, gets off a wobbly kick. It's going to bounce at the 47-yard line in Springtown territory and roll across the midfield stripe to the 45. It'll be a 35-yard punt.
Yeah, so not a great punt, but Boyd takes over.
And that is the end of the first quarter, 15-0. Springtown in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Shotgun formation for McKinney Boyd. Handoff to Joseph Robinson up the middle, and he's going to actually lose a couple of yards. Right there were that front 3 for Springtown. They stepped up and made the play in the backfield, so it'll be 2nd down and long. Call it 2nd and 12 for McKinney Boyd, moving left to right now in the second quarter. Alves runs the option to the right side, pitches it. That's Robinson. He makes one man miss. Down and crosses the 50-yard line to the 49 inside Springtown territory. And it'll be 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, there was a great block out there on the periphery. Is that Nate Hill?
Nate Hill.
He was able to really spring the run and allowed it to pick up because the cornerback was coming in. He wasn't able to make the tackle, and so Jones was able to get about 34 extra yards.
Nate Hill moves from the slot to the tailback position. He gets the pitch, running left side. He's got the 40. Oh, I thought he was going to have the first down, but he got dragged down from behind. A great play by Springtown on that far side, and I believe that was DJ Lamance from the right tackle position.
Well, and he showed nice speed because it looked like Jones was going to get around him.
I didn't think there was any way Nate Hill was going to be denied of that first down. But out of nowhere, Lamance comes up and makes a great play. So it'll be 4th down and 1.
Well, he's a big kid, and he just used his wingspan, basically grabbed the back
of
his jersey.
It was a Roy Williams collar tackle is what it was. And here's Alves, sends a man in motion, and he's going to fake the hand. Alves goes up the middle, and ball is loose. It's on the turf, and it's going to go back to Springtown because he did not have the first down, first of all, and then the ball fell down behind about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A McKinney Boyd Bronco did jump on it, but it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, one way or another, they weren't going to keep possession of it. Boy, that's deflating.
Alves took the ball, and he was going to go out of shotgun formation with a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
He actually got the snap 4 yards deep behind the line of scrimmage, took off like a fullback, a battering ram, and he hit a brick wall.
And then as he hit that wall, the ball popped out. Keep in mind he's only a sophomore, but that was his second fumble of the day.
So ball changes possession here with 10-10 left to go in the second quarter. Springtown up 15-0, and with the ball at the midfield stripe, moving right to left. First down and 10. Handoff Kubrak, dancing up to the middle of the field, breaks away from the line of scrimmage and gains 5 yards. How in the world did he get away from all of those defenders?
Well, I'll tell you quite simply, the defenders weren't really there. They were just holding their ground, but the Springtown offensive line was creating a wall that Kubrak hit. No one was really able to grab him, but there was no gaps either.
Boy, hurry-up offense here. This is a completed pass out in the flats to Andrew Haddock. But Haddock's going to be brought down maybe behind the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of about a yard. A nice play over there. It might have been Peoples and Miller Burns in coverage.
Yeah, you take away that first drive, and this secondary is actually, again, reading the quarterback's eyes, so that's really encouraging to see.
Wilson tonight 9 of 14 for 46 yards through the air.
9:20 left to go in the second quarter, 15-0, Springtown on top. We don't have scores to pass along yet for you, but we'll try to find some. We'll try to get Casey back in the studio to look up some scores for us around the area. Shotgun formation way over the head of Kyle Wilson. Wilson's going to have to go back and pick it up at the own 30. Tries to throw it now. It's intercepted. Intercepted at the midfield stripe. That's Matt Morton, the senior. Or that might have been Jacob Sigler. I thought for a moment it was Morton, but I think it is Sigler.
Yeah, and you know what? That's really curious because exactly what Kyle Wilson was trying to do there was throw the ball away because he didn't want to first take a big loss. But the thing that hurt him was he threw it away in the middle of the field, and then that is the worst place to throw it away because generally what you do is you have some defenders just hanging out there in his zone coverage, and that's exactly what Sigler was doing. If you're going to throw it away, you always throw it out of bounds.
Moving left to right is McKinney Boyd. Alves, shotgun formation, drops back 2 steps. Left-handed quarterback throws it down the field. Man open. A.J. Jones caught it at the 15-yard line.
That's nice to see. A very nice pass by Alves, and at the same time you had Jones coming out of the backfield, and then he moved kind of to the slot position on the left side and just ran the streak down the middle of the field.
You know, it's a different-looking offense than what we've seen from Don Drake over the years. He actually is running, we mentioned that A.J. Jones and Robinson were tailbacks in the pregame show. Actually, they're in the slot positions, and they will come in motion to the tailback position. Then they do it here, and they're going to hand off to A.J. Jones coming in motion, and he can't get away from the big defender, and brought down from behind is Jones by R.J. Wilson, the 5'10", 210-pound defensive end, and that just didn't look good from the get-go.
Yeah, and that's the problems that you're going to be having when you've got one senior on your offensive line. Quite frankly, the line advantage right now is going to the Porcupines. Jones is simply trying to run an off tackle to the right side, but before he could get off tackle, he had to be 5 yards in the backfield. Well, no, because that's actually where the tackle was.
6-yard loss. Here's second down and 16. Alves rolling out left side, and he may have lost some more. Running that option, there is a flag down at the 24-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 23, so that's going to probably be a holding call or something similar to that. 8:01 left to go in the second quarter. Springtown up 15-0, and it is a hold against McKinney Boyd, so back it up.
You know what?
To second and 26.
I might decline it and take the down loss here because they lost a yard anyway, maybe even 2, and then you're still looking at 3rd and long. I can see both sides of the equation.
Well, and you saw the field goal kicker miss a 28-yarder as well.
So that's another factor.
And I believe that's exactly what they did, Brandon. Maybe you should be down there, huh?
Well, I've always thought I could be a good football coach. But, when I play Madden and stuff, I do pretty well.
Yeah, isn't it? 7:58, here's Alves on 3rd and long, throwing it deep to Fuller, and it's caught. I believe it is caught and out of bounds at about the 3-yard line.
Fuller just Alvin Harper, whoever was in coverage there, and I didn't see because it was on the far side of the field.
Well, when you're 6'4", 6'3", 4, or maybe even 6'5", you can just throw it up there like that, and he can go up and get it, and then he did just then. A nice pass and catch from Alves to Fuller.
Well, and how do you get mad at the coverage? There was a guy in front of him and a guy beside him.
Full house backfield now. Jamal Minor, the fullback. They're going to hand off Robinson up the middle, fights his way, and it's touchdown time in Texas. From 3 yards out, Montarius Pittman actually scores instead of Joseph Robinson. It's the first time we've seen Pittman in the game.
Well, now let's go back to, was it wise or decline it? Did I make the right call there? You know, it's tough to say because that was really just a kind of a desperation, throw it up in the air on 3rd and long.
Madden falls again. Here is the extra point by Travis Yarborough, and it is good. McKinney Boyd is on the board, 15-7. Springtown in the lead, however. 7:40 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Pojo Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, Jay Lindley, and John Leidy. This is going to be a kick by McKinney Boyd, Travis Yarborough, and it goes out of bounds. That's the second time we've had that tonight by Travis Yarborough, trying to not kick it in the middle of the field and kick it away because Kubrak has run one back already this year.
Well, yeah, and it's a very popular strategy in the high school ranks to do a pooch kick, minimizes the chances of return because by the time you catch it, a return team is there. However, you got to be able to get it bounced for that to work. But, again, if it goes out of bounds, you're minimizing the return.
How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay Lindley?
5 plays, 47 yards, a minute 17, ran off the clock, capped off by a 3-yard Montarius Pittman run. And, of course, there was a big pass play to Jeff Fuller, a completion of 29 yards that set up that run.
That was a big play by Fuller. A big catch by Alvin Harper Fuller.
Yeah, just leaped over the guy. That's the one memory everybody will always have in an NFC Championship game, leap over. Fuller did it.
7:40 left to go in the second quarter. Here's Kubrak for Springtown up the middle, and he'll gain about 4, maybe 5 yards on first down. Kubrak hasn't had a lot of opportunities tonight, Jay, but he's made the most of them.
Well, 4 carries for 39 yards. You know, you add a 28-yard touchdown run in there. He's had a great night so far.
7:18 left to go in the second. Here is Wilson throwing the ball down the field. Almost intercepted by Parker Bolinas once again. But this one goes right through his hands. A couple of defenders over there. Matt Morton also and the safety Jacob Sigler were all in the area. But it was Parker Bolinas who had the ball go right through his hands.
Well, yeah, and I don't think he was quite expecting that. He was made more playing defensive against that ball. And the receiver didn't get a hand on it either. And quite frankly, it looked like he should have.
3rd down and 5 for Springtown, moving right to left with 7:12 left to go in the second quarter. Up 15-7 over McKinney Boyd. Shotgun formation for Kyle Wilson, the quarterback. He and Kubrak will look over to get the offensive signal. They get it. Now they're set. Wanting the ball. Gets it. Wilson, 2-step drop. Looks right side. Flushed out of the pocket. Now rolling. Throws it across the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Nice coverage over there by Matt Morton. Morton, who had the interception. Actually, no. I thought he had the interception earlier, but I guess that was Sigler, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is probably the better defensive series so far. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen here on 4th down. But on that series, every receiver for the Porcupines was covered. And that's great because what that does is if you don't get a rush, but you still maintain your lanes, which they did there, and your receivers are covered, that pretty much leaves nowhere to go for the quarterback.
Right after this change of possession, we'll go down to John Leidy down on the sidelines as Wilson will go back in punt formation, and he'll boot this one away. It's a low line drive kick, and Philip Sears might pick it up, and he does at the 30-yard line, coming near side, up the sideline. Now cuts it up towards the middle of the field. Has to run backwards and is tackled at the 36-yard line. It's about 6 yards back from the furthest part. He went forward. And John Leidy down on the sidelines. What do you got for us? And John is not on the sidelines down there.
Maybe he had nothing. Of course, it would be nice if he said that.
Well,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. 6:50 left to go in the second quarter. 15-7. McKinney Boyd trailing Springtown here, moving left to right. Shotgun formation for Alves. 2 receivers to either side. Alves, left-handed quarterback, throws it across the middle, and it's caught. And I believe that was the slot back. No, it was actually the slot receiver Cameron Mazer, who comes in tonight with 5 catches, 51 yards. Last week had 2 catches for 20. That's his first one tonight.
Yeah, sorry, Monty, he's just kind of hanging over the middle there, and that basically was a safety release for Alves, and Alves was able to find him. Nice little gain on first down.
Here's Robinson in motion, and he's going to get the hand this time, and he goes right to the ground. As soon as he got the handoff, he saw a couple of guys in front of him, and he just went to the ground.
It may have looked like a couple of guys, but it was one big guy, 5'10", 240 senior Colby Bowling. He just swallowed up the center and the running back.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a big reason why this line's having problems. Is obviously they're inexperienced to a degree, but they're also I don't want to say outmanned, but pound for pound, they're at the disadvantage.
Shotgun. Alves wants to throw it down the middle. It's caught for a first down in Springtown territory to the 48-yard line, and on the catch once again is Cameron Mazer, his second catch of the night. Last week he had 2. Here's the second one tonight.
Well, now he's got 2 on this drive, and that one was a first down gain. This was a little bit more deeper than the safety valve he was on the first play of this drive, which was good because Alves was a little bit in trouble starting to dance around. And right now it looks like we're seeing a lot of the reasons why Coach Drake's high on this guy.
First down and 10, and Alves wants to run it up the middle. He's got some speed. He's got the 40 up to the 36 and dragged down. Horse collared, and now a late flag comes in. That's going to be a personal foul, probably against the Porcupines, as Colby Bowling might have had some words there.
Well, it's not a word as much as it was a lowering of the shoulder when the whistle was blown. Anytime you blatantly hit a member of the other team right in front of the ball like that, they're going to call you on it.
And he's coming out of the game, the 5'10", 240-pound senior Colby Bowling. You saw it. He's coming out of the game.
Yeah.
Coach Brad Turner had enough of that, and Chad Hoffman will check in for him.
Let me tell you, and I can speak from experience on this one, there is not anything more a coach hates than a blatant, stupid penalty. And that does not get any more blatant. I mean, the whistle clearly was blown, the play was clearly dead, and you hit a guy.
Well, that does nothing for McKinney Boyd except give him a first down here way deep in your own territory at the 21-yard line. Alves, handoff right side. Robinson, big hole, and he's fast. Down to the 10, down to the 5, fighting his way for another first down at the 5-yard line. Joseph Robinson was shot out of a cannon coming from the left slot. He took the hand in motion and fired off across to the near side. Another first down for McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, he just basically slapped away Iggy Apolinar. The strong safety was trying to make the tackle on the play, and Jones goes, nope, just pretty much slapped him away.
Alves in shotgun sends Zach Jones in motion, who stops behind him. He's going to run the option, pitch it out to Jones, running left side behind the line of scrimmage, and he's tossed for a big loss. Not a good selection there, as it was Iggy Apolinar that time making the stop. And
getting a little revenge.
He got a little revenge, he did.
Slap me away, will you? Yeah, so nice job getting it down here. But again, now that you're down here, this is a situation where you can't commit stupid penalties. You got to just play your game plan. Because you know what? We've seen them move the ball effectively when they're not hurting themselves.
7-yard loss on first down makes it second and goal from the 12. And this is Fuller throwing it up to him, and it is touchdown time in Texas once again. Jeff Fuller, Alvin Harper's it into the end zone.
Just throw it up to the guy. And this is the reason why he's ranked on your recruiting list, because he's got size for a receiver. He's got decent speed, but he's got a really good leaping ability, and that is great for a sophomore quarterback. Well, you got to toss it up there, and you saw right there, Iggy Apolino, the safety, was in the play. He goes, nope.
He has committed to Oklahoma, as Steve Kirk tells us from McKinneyNews.net. Here's Alves throwing it into the end zone for the two-point conversion, and it is incomplete. So they do not convert. It's 15-13 now. Springtown still holds that lead. 4:14 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Porcupine/Pojo Stadium in Springtown, Texas. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and John Leidy and Jay Lindley. It's 15-13, Springtown in the lead. Here's the kickoff by McKinney Boyd to Springtown, who takes it at about the 10-yard line. Coming up is Haddock to the 31-yard line. And Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap there?
Real quick, 7 plays, 2 minutes and 36 seconds, ticked off the clock, 63 yards, and of course they had the big 13-yard touchdown reception by Jeff Fuller, and thus making the score now 15-13. Fuller will be happy to know that the Sooners up on Tulsa 21-14.
Yeah, well, back to this game here, Jay. No, real quick, though, I want to give a real credit to Ryan Garrett on that return. He did make the tackle, but he really busted the wedge. He took 2 blockers with him with such the force that would have allowed someone else to make the tackle a couple yards down the field. Nice job.
Moving right to left is Springtown from their own 31-yard line. Handoff Kubrak, running right tackle, way outside, trying to cut it back in, and he does and gains about a yard, if any. So it'll be second down and long. Springtown leads here 15-13. We never got a chance to check back down with John Leidy because John's up here.
And is having battery problems. But, yeah, Monty on that play, nice job pursuit coming from the Bronco defense. They were really able to stretch it to the left side, or rather the defensive left side, and that really didn't give Kubrak a chance to turn it up.
Second down and long here for Springtown, moving right to left. Shotgun formation for Wilson. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. The high snap once again. Wilson has to go back to his 15-yard line, and McKinney Boyd bursts him right at the line, right in the backfield. And coming up with the football is McKinney Boyd. And I think Jay saw it. I didn't see exactly.
It was Matt Morton. Matt Morton, the ball just jumped around on the ground, and Morton there to scoop it up. He came out of that pile. Hands in the air, football shining high, and McKinney Boyd now setting in pretty position.
Yeah, and this is, again, a good example of why, the first few drives may set the tone for the game, but a lot of times it doesn't, because now Boyd's making some changes, some adjustments, and now Springtown's making some mistakes, and Boyd is setting up real good position to take their first lead of the game.
Here's Alves on the quarterback keeper to the left side, to the 5, to the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. And McKinney Boyd leads for the first time tonight with 3:13 left to go in the second quarter. 19-15 awaiting the PAT, and I guess they'll try to go for 2 here again, I'm sure.
Of course, you know how I feel about that.
Well, that'll even up the score, at least in the normal score, if you had a 7-point lead, but even if you went for 2 here, it would only give you a 6-point lead.
I don't like taking points off the board this early in the game.
A 6-point lead wouldn't do you a whole lot here. Here's Alves throwing in the end zone and is caught, and hanging on for the second time is A.J. Jones. What a catch, as he was hit initially and then got the ball back after it bounced out from him. So the 2-point conversion is successful. It's 21-15. McKinney Boyd in the lead with 3:13 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, McKinney Boyd takes the lead for the first time tonight, 21-15 with 3:13 left to go in the second. Here's a pooch kick, and it's going to take a couple of hops, and it actually ends up being a nice kick. Haddock picks it up at the 25, rumbling to the middle of the field. The ball's on the turf, but he was down. McKinney Boyd says they have it, but the officials say no, he was down first. So a pretty good starting position for Springtown from their own, 39-yard line?
Yeah, right in that area, and you saw on that kickoff whilst the line drive kick is good, and I'll get back to that after Jay gives us an American Bank scoring drive update.
Real easy, 1 play, 6 seconds, 13 yards, and of course a Darren Alves touchdown run, and the McKinney Boyd Mustangs are now in front.
Yeah, we'll take that any day, Jay, those 1-yard touchdown drives. But yeah, you
saw
the
a 6-second scoring drive there.
Yeah, that's really nice. Real quick to elaborate on the point. You saw it bounce on the ground. The first guy missed it, and that's why a lot of times you see the teams go to that pooch kick.
Shotgun for Wilson, who rolls out left side, wants to throw near side, and it's incomplete. Way overthrown for his receiver, Clayton Cooper. Does that mean that it takes Alves 6 seconds to run 13 yards?
No, he was doing a lot of dancing.
Okay.
He did a lot of dancing to do that. And real quick on that incompletion, now quarterback Wilson, he has been incomplete 4 of his last 5 passing attempts. So he's struggled here of late.
Well, Jay, you read my mind. I was just about to ask you that.
It's chemistry. We've been in the booth now. This is game 4.
We're starting to gel as a team.
Here is Kubrak running near side, has some running room and close to a first down, but it's going to be about a yard short. So it'll be 3rd and 1. So we were going to check down with John Leidy, but I don't think we're ready to do that just yet. So 3rd and 1 with 2:38 left to go before the half. Or actually, they got a left-footed spot here. 3rd and 2.5 probably. Kubrak up the middle, dances and trying to find his way, but a nice defensive play, and he might have, on the last-second surge, picked up the first down. It was Matt Morton, the defender, trying to keep him from that first down marker, but a late surge by Kubrak and a great second effort got it for Springtown.
Well, and he needed it because he committed what coaches really don't like. He gave up ground. When you've got a shortened goal and you're a short distance to go and you need to get 1 or 2 yards and you're close to it, you lower your shoulder. When it's a one-on-one situation, what he did is he jumped backwards trying to get more yards and almost lost it.
Well, a timeout has been called. We'll keep it right here.
And that's the first down in 5 drives for Springtown. So as you can tell, McKinney Boyd, they have done a great job defensively of really ratcheting down. Now, you talk about Kubrak, he's still lighting it up. 6 carries for 49 yards here through basically a little over a quarter and a half. And Kubrak continuing to rack up those yards. It seems as though you may see him a little bit more this drive, considering what a powerful run that was to get the first down.
Yeah, don't mean to toot my own horn, and this is one reason something you can't do at Madden. But I mentioned Kubrak was really looking at his receiver almost from the get-go, and I think the pass defense has really been able to key on that, which is why you haven't seen him have that success through the air that he did that first drive.
1st and 10 for Springtown, moving right to left, 2:23 on the second quarter clock. Springtown trailing McKinney Boyd 21-15. Wilson setting up the screen. Kubrak catches it, and a nice defensive play by Matt Morton again. And tell you what, if there's a defensive player of the game in the first half, it's got to be Matt Morton. Remember, at the end of the game, we'll have our Torchmark Corporation star of the game. And we'll also have our tutoring club scholar athlete and our Anchor Credit Loan money play of the game.
Yeah, right now I'd give it to Matt. He's doing a really good job from his linebacker position.
3-step drop for Wilson, throws it out left side. Great coverage over there by Lamar Peoples again, fighting the receiver, Clayton Cooper. And Lamar Peoples, I tell you what, he's got Clay Cooper just wrapped up over there.
And again, he's able to read the quarterback's eyes because he doesn't have a good job of zeroing in on a receiver in the middle of his pattern. And that's a really big deficiency to have as a quarterback, because you basically give the defender the play where you're going.
And you got to give credit to Gary Smith for putting these guys in place, because Lamar Peoples played safety last year. He played a little bit of linebacker last year, but I think he's found a home over there at cornerback. Here's Wilson on a 3 or 4 step drop, looking right side, throwing it down the field, and it is caught for a first down, but brought down immediately at the 37-yard line in McKinney Boyd territory. And on the catch for Springtown was Rhett Ballard, the biggest receiver so far of the year. 6 catches, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns coming in. And that was a big one right there for the first down. 1:41 left to go in the second quarter clock. McKinney Boyd leading 21-15.
Yeah, as much as I've commented on it, I'll give credit to Kyle Wilson there. He actually looked at a different receiver, and that's why it was successful, but he had time to do it. The Bronco defense needs to get more pressure.
First down and 10. Shotgun. Wilson gets it. Drops back 3 steps. Looking left side, throwing the ball in the end zone, and Lamar Peoples this time just absolutely mauled Clayton Cooper. Cooper finally beat him, and Lamar Peoples just grabbed him around the belt and threw him down.
Yeah,
an obvious penalty.
Yeah, that's exactly the words I was going to use. It doesn't get more blatant than that. He was trying to make, I'll give him credit, he was trying to make an adjust to the ball, but you can't make an adjust and bring down the defender while doing, or the receiver while doing it.
I tell you what, it's worth the penalty because it was going to be a touchdown. It's one of those where you get beat, because he was beaten.
Yeah,
he was flat beaten on the play. He just grabbed him around the waist because he was going to catch it and haul it in, and that would have given him the lead.
Not necessarily that he was beaten because he was with him step for step. He was just on the wrong shoulder. If there would have been a fly pattern, he would have been better, but because it was a post, and give credit again to Kyle Wilson, had all the time in the world, he threw a great pass. and he threw it where only the receiver could get it. That was a nice job of those two.
The ball will now be placed at the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 with $1:17 left to go on the second quarter clock. Springtown trailing McKinney Boyd 21-15. Shotgun Wilson, 3 receivers to the near side. Finally gets the snap, pumps it, looking in the end zone, flushed out of the pocket, has to scramble up through the middle, gets away, bumps into the referee, and down at about the 17-yard line. And it wasn't for the official, the back judge, Wilson would have possibly scrambled for a few more yards. And the back judge, Thomas Bean, got in the way. I think a guy named Tom Bean would get out of the way from the guys wearing black and orange.
Well, and hey, let's give him credit for a tackle.
Here's a handoff. Kubrak running up the middle, now cuts it out right side and trying to find that first down corner pylon, but I think he's going to come up a little bit short on that one. So it'll be 3rd down and about, looks like to me, about 2.5 feet, close to a yard.
Well, of the 3 third downs that the Porcupines have converted on here tonight, 2 of them have come on this drive. So here's a big stop for McKinney Boyd if they were to pull this one off.
37 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. McKinney Boyd leading 21-15. Springtown will now call a timeout. We'll take 1-2. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Porcupine Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and the rest of the crew. 37 seconds left to go before half. Springtown knocking on the door. McKinney Boyd showing blitz. Hand off to Kubrak up left tackle, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown Porcupines. And they will now tie the score at 21, awaiting the PAT with 32 seconds left to go before half.
Boy, Cameron Mazer got blasted by Andrew Haddock there. Haddock blocking out downfield, and Mazer got put on his back. Oh, my gosh.
Well, here's the kid with the great name, Montana Marsh, on for the extra point. This could give Springtown the lead. It's a high kick, and it is good. 22-21, Springtown in the lead. 32 seconds to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Pojo Stadium / Porcupine Stadium in Springtown, Texas. 22-21, Springtown in the lead over McKinney Boyd with 32 seconds left to go before the half. The Porcupines are about to kick off here. And they send this one, Montana Marsh sends this one high to about the 18-yard line, and that's going to be A.J. Jones with a crease up to the 40, flag down, 45, up to the 50, dancing down the sideline, spinning out of a tackle, dances out of another one at the 35-30, cuts it upfield to the 15, down at the 12-yard line. A spectacular run by A.J. Jones, but I'm afraid it's all for naught as there's a flag down at the 35-yard line back in McKinney Boyd territory.
Yeah, it was thrown by one of the line judges, which generally is an instance of an illegal block of some kind, whether it be a hold or a block in the back. And in an extreme case, it could be a chop block. Let's hope that's not the case. And it is indeed on the Broncos.
And that's bad because that negates a 71-yard return.
Well, and at this point, it also negates time on the clock because the clock was running, and you're not getting those 4 or 5, however many seconds back.
Jay, let's do an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap.
9 plays, 52 yards, 2 minutes and 41 seconds ticked off the clock, and, of course, a 9-yard touchdown run by Raphael Kubrak, the second rushing touchdown of the day. And, man, he's had a great day on the ground, 9 carries for 64 yards so far.
It'll be 1st and 10 for McKinney Boyd, moving left to right with 17 seconds off the clock now. That big run by A.J. Jones took about 15 seconds off the clock there.
Well, and you think about where he was in relation to the penalty was thrown, probably 50 yards. So, in essence, we're looking at a 60-yard penalty.
Alves, 3-step drops, looks near side, now he wants to run. He's got the 30, in trouble at the 33, breaks away a great block at the 35, 40, 45, up to the 50. And did he get out of bounds? That's the question. but I'm sure McKinney Boyd probably called a timeout. There's 5 seconds left to go before half, and a great run by Alves.
And that was Joseph Robinson that opened up the hole on the far left side. Robinson just clocked the linebacker there.
And I would say it is indeed a timeout taken by Boyd, but I was almost worried that block was close to the penalty.
That's one of those blocks that, when we were playing, they called it a snot flopper. Because when you get up, I actually had a friend of mine take one of those hits, and he got up, and he actually had snot on the side of his shoulder pad, and that literally was one of those snot floppers.
Our coaches out in West Texas called it a slobber knocker. So
I think it means the same thing.
They've all got, it's all pretty graphic in what it accomplishes. But that's about as harsh a hit as you'll see in the high school game, and it's really easy to do because they're looking at the runner, and the blocker's got an easy hit for him.
Well, boy, look at this defense by Springtown. Looks like a punt return. Here's Alves. Drops back 3 steps. Throws it down the field. Fuller all alone, but the pass is way overthrown and incomplete. Matter of fact, almost intercepted by Iggy Aplinar. But that's the end of the first half. And you know what? When all is said and done, not a bad first half. It was not a good first quarter, but McKinney Boyd rebounded with a nice second quarter. And it ended, hey, you're only down by 1.
Well, considering the amount of mistakes they made, especially in that first quarter, but, even just right now before the A.J. Jones run was called back, that was a pretty big mistake. That might have been a field goal. I mean, it was in field goal range. So, I'm definitely happy to be down by 1. Again, a young team that has shown a lot of progress from this last year to this year. So, getting halftime, calm down, settle down. Get the kick in the second half, and let's get going.
Well, sit back and relax. It's homecoming here at Springtown, so you know what that means. A long halftime, folks.
Well, let's just keep talking.
22-21, Springtown in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
And halftime just about done here in Springtown, Texas. Minute at least on the scoreboard clock. And it's the Boyd Broncos trailing only by a point. And, Monty, when we looked at this game, you kind of harken back to last year a little bit. The performance, at least from the Bronco end of the thing, a lot better. Defense, they've been able to tighten down for the last quarter, minus the late touchdown drive, which, was kind of I don't want to say a give me because nothing's a give me in football, but, Boyd didn't help him in terms of the field position and the penalties that came with it. But I think overall, we definitely see a lot of improvement from the Broncos.
Well, and to kind of put it into perspective, Brandon, I mean, the stats don't lie. The opening drive of the game, Springtown drove 70 yards. Since then, they've gained 74 yards. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what McKinney Boyd has been able to do defensively, and that's what we expected. I mean, coming into the night, McKinney Boyd only giving up 232 yards a game.
Yeah, and so, maybe they're taking a page from, Don Drake taking a page from Sean Pratt. Hey, they're getting the defense ironed out now. The offense obviously can do some things with a sophomore quarterback.
This team has had a tendency to wear down a little bit, talking about McKinney Boyd. In the fourth quarter, they've given up the most points this year in the 2 games that they've played. In the fourth quarter, coming into tonight, they hadn't even given up a first-quarter touchdown. That's obviously off the board now, but they had given up 20 points in the fourth quarter coming into tonight's game, and I think the fourth quarter is going to be a big issue tonight for tonight's football game.
Well, and you can rest assured the way that the first 2 quarters of this game shaped up, if we're lucky, as a broadcaster's dream to have a close game, obviously they're much better than blowouts in either way. And this has the makings to be a very close game where at one point it might be a last-second touchdown or it might be a touchdown halfway through the fourth quarter that could be decided. Let's hope that's the case. And if that is the case, obviously you can tell that Boyd has improved from last year because last year the last part of the game was pretty much a done deal.
I just realized what stadium this reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of Burke Burnett a little bit out there in West Texas. Kind of low to the field. It's an older style press box. And, you see a lot of black and orange. Hey, I'll tell you a quick story. We did a Burke Burnett game back in about 97, 98, something like that. Not kidding you. They were black and orange. We played this game on Halloween night, and they had a running back by the name of Pumpkin Morgan.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
You're making that up.
No, I'm not kidding. Pumpkin Morgan on Halloween, and
That's
Burt
funny.
Burnett in black and orange.
Yeah, this is really reminiscent to my high school stadium. We were a 3A school out in the farming community of Greenwood, not even a real town, to put it in perspective. And we had the low flat stadium with the press box. You had to get up through the stands, not like the new press box that like McKinney has. And so it's really, I don't know, this seems comforting to me in a way because it harkens back to my playing days.
This is one of these stadiums that reminds a lot of people of their old home stadiums.
Yeah.
Kind of a, my home stadium is a 1935 stadium, and it's kind of similar to this.
Well, yeah,
grass on the field.
Yeah, at one point, Ron Poe Stadium was like this. At one point, Highland Park Stadium was like this. They were all like this in some form or fashion, except for the brand new stadiums. Like Denton has introduced that was brand new. But for the most part, you just renovate a stadium to go from something like this to like McKinney has.
Yeah, you're right.
It's generally how it's done. Not always.
Yeah,
and so that's why even the big schools now, hey, this is like how I played. It brings back a lot of fond memories.
Yeah, you're right. Ron Poe Stadium, if I remember right, and I'm trying to look it up, I believe opened in 1962. So, obviously it didn't have, and it was 1962. Obviously, it didn't have the big $5 million press box back then. Here's the kickoff, and we're underway here in the second half. It's going to be, I believe, Bolinas bringing it back to the 31-yard line on the return. McKinney Boyd will take over here starting the second half. Now, is there a whistle already?
Yeah, I was kind of curious. We saw one of the line judges respond a little differently. Yeah, you talk about the $5 million press box just to kind of stay on that point a little bit. I guarantee you the entire stadium didn't cost $5 million. I don't even think it probably cost $1 million, to be honest with you.
Back then it was called MHS Stadium, which then in about 1967 became Lion Stadium. And when McKinney North came on board, it was MISD Stadium. And then last year, of course, Ron Poe Stadium. Here's Alves handing off up the middle and not doing a whole lot there. Maybe about a 3-yard gain. Dog pile, it's hard to tell who the ball carrier is at this point, still getting up, and I believe that is A.J. Jones.
Yeah, he's been hit pretty hard in a lot of instances tonight. Kind of like the Energizer Bunny. He's taken a licking, and this is the first time he's really been slow to get up. But that's obviously a good thing because something's working if you're continuing to get the ball.
Alves in shotgun formation, has two receivers to either side, wants to throws it to Fuller out in the flats, and he makes a couple of men miss out to the 50-yard line, a first down and a nice gain of about 15 yards. And 11-12 left to go in the third quarter, 22-21, Springtown on top.
Well, that was a complete breakdown in coverage on the Porcupine defense. How on earth do you leave a D1 commit, if you will, wide open like that? I mean, that's something that you got to keep on, and they weren't. He was just wide open.
First down and 10, and this is going to be a handoff running left side, and in trouble and caught behind the line is Montarius Pittman, and that'll be a big loss. So it'll be second down and long now for McKinney Boyd. Again, moving left to right to set it up for you. Springtown with black uniforms and electric orange pants with black helmets, white numerals outlined in orange. And McKinney Boyd has that Ole Miss look, the silver pants, with the white jerseys with the red and blue stripe over the shoulder pads, the dark blue numerals outlined in red. A.J. Jones in motion will set up behind the quarterback Alves. Running the option, he's going to pitch it to A.J. Jones, running near corner. Escapes one tackler, cuts it back inside, and is busted behind the line of scrimmage by just about every black hat out there for Springtown. All but two men were over there in that swarm tackle, and that'll be another loss. And it'll be fourth down and a truckload here.
Well, and that play was made on the cornerback here on the outside, Ryan Griffin. He was he essentially broke off a block coming from the Boyd offense on the outside, Blake Gainey, and if he's not there, that's a big gain by Jones.
Excuse me, I misspoke. It's third down now and 15. Here's Alves, flushed out of the pocket, rolls out left. He's going to tuck it and run. Got a lot of room, a great block, and he has the first down at the 38-yard line. Runs out of bounds after he crosses the mark. What a nice job by the sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up sophomore. I was about to mention every game but one this year, one side or another has had a sophomore quarterback. This is probably, and this is say something because Lee down McKinney's not bad, but this kid has got a lot of talent, a lot of potential.
Two completely different styles of quarterbacks, Zachary and Alves. Yes, both very successful. Alves mainly successful on the ground, not so much in the air just yet anyway. He throws it, heaves it down this time for Fuller, who is open, and it's touchdown time in Texas. A 40-yard strike from Alves to Fuller with 9:26 left to go in the third quarter, and McKinney Boyd goes on top once again.
What about his arm, Monty?
Wow.
It's not a pretty pass. I can understand why doesn't do a lot with his arm, but that's the third time he's thrown it down there to Fuller, and he's come down with it. I mean, it may not be – oh, he didn't get a touchdown.
Oh, he stepped out.
Hey, I thought he did too.
Well, I thought it is on the far side. Yeah. It's hard to see over there. Alves is going to run it up the middle, and now it is touchdown time in Texas, and McKinney Boyd takes a lead again with 9:23 left to go. Let's just do it all over again.
The next 3 years are going to be really fun to watch from the Boyd perspective because, like we say, this kid Alves, I hate to say a kid with as much talent as he has. I feel old when I say that too, by the way, but just an amazing speed, and it's not necessarily the speed, but how quick he gets up there. It's like a 0 to 60 in 2 seconds kind of thing.
Well, they're going to go for two again as Brandon shakes his head. And they send Montarius Pittman in motion. They're going to throw it in the end zone and wide open. A nice play. And it's going to be on the catch is Blake Gainey, I believe. Is that right? Is that Blake Gainey over there?
26, maybe. Is that accurate?
Yeah, Cameron Mazer again. All right. Well, good job, Cameron. 29-22, McKinney Boyd in the lead. With 9:23 left to go in the third, back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Porcupine Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and the rest of the gang. Here's the kick by Springtown, going to bounce at the 21, or by McKinney Boyd rather. Going to bounce at the 21 and go out of bounds again. That's the third time that Travis Yarborough has kicked the ball and it's gone out of bounds for a penalty.
I'm not going to necessarily blame him on that one. If he gets a better bounce, because right now what Springtown's doing is they're not fielding the ball. It's like their return team is centered around letting the ball go out of bounds.
Well, Dallas is kind of faced with this same situation come Sunday night when they face Chicago. Would you rather give them the ball right here? Would you rather give them the ball at the 30 or have Kubarak run it back on you? You might be better off.
Choice.
You might be better off just kicking it out of bounds every time.
Well, he's hurting you enough as it is on offense.
Here is Wilson in shotgun formation. Three receivers to the near side, moving right to left. Shotgun, two-step drop, throws near side. It's caught, and up the middle, bounces off one defender, and Jamel Minor actually gets it. There's a ball on the turf, and McKinney Boyd says they have it. It was the big hit by Jamel Minor that caused it. And the man who made the catch and the fumble was Clayton Cooper. And now a late flag. Once again, this is a personal foul. We'll see who this is on.
Yeah, this is
another late flag. Oh, someone got tossed. Coaches are out on the field, not ejected, but someone got tossed on their
Ryan Garrett.
On their hind, and Matt Morton was one of them.
Garrett.
Matt Morton got thrown backwards. Coaches for Boyd ran out onto the field.
I think we'll likely see personal fouls on both sides in a situation like that. Generally, when you see two flags, you'll see one guy, hey, you can't do that, and the other guy saying, hey, you can't do this after penalty, and let me retaliate, and so you'll have on both sides.
We'll check down with John Leidy. John, you got something for us down there? Did you get a good look at what's going on down there?
Well, there's actually two flags on that play right there. Both of them were after the play. There was a fumble on the play there, and a Boyd defender and a Pojo offensive, I believe it was offensive lineman. They were fighting over the ball, and the two teams actually not necessarily took the field, but they were still fighting over the ball, even though the officials were signaling. But neither player could see that. But it's just going to be all setting penalties, and it's going to be first down, McKinney Boyd. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks, John. I guess no one was tossed. We didn't see the signal that anyone was tossed from the game.
Just unsportsmanlike on both sides.
But you got to be careful, though. Unsportsmanlike conducts and personal fouls, those two penalties right up there and getting you tossed. And since we're starting to see those type of penalties in this game, that's not the first incident. those referees will start to be a little bit more happy to toss you.
Grant Gibson will split out wide to the right. Zach Jones in the slot. Again, McKinney Boyd recovered the fumble. So they'll have the ball moving left to right with 9:15 left to go in the third quarter, leading 29-22 here in Springtown. Shotgun. And he's going to fake the hand to the motion man. And Alves got a lot of running room up the middle. Crosses the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Another first down. And Alves, he kind of – I was talking to McKinneyNews.net, Steve Kirk, earlier about Alves, who he kind of reminded me of, and kind of like a Steve Young, maybe a young Mark Brunell type guy who can scramble around and run. And he's left-handed. But he's smaller than those guys, and he's quicker than those guys.
And that's the key thing. He's not necessarily faster, but he gets up to that fast speed really quick.
He's going to hand off this time to Zach Jones. And about a loss of one. Jones coming across and to the left side, and he was trapped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Yeah, real quick, Monty, I want to go back to that fumble that Jamel Minor helped cause, and then we got caught up in the penalties, and of course, talking about our young sophomore stud quarterback. Seems like all the McKinney schools have good linebackers, and that's if you can have that, you have good solid defense, and then you got a good sophomore quarterback here. Alves running a terrific offense right now.
Shotgun, Alves, two-step drop, flushed out of the pocket, rolling left, wants to throw it, throws on the run to Fuller, who jumps up, makes a catch. Did he stay in bounds? And he did.
Oh my God!
Wow!
What a catch!
What a throw! What a catch!
That was Alvin Harper. Like he went up and caught the ball. He's like a high jumper with his legs up in the air and everything.
Well, the thing that impressed me started off with the quarterback. You see him pointing out, hey, no, right here, hey. And then he was such poison up that he was able to throw it right as he got hit, didn't rush it. And then here comes Jeff Fuller just holding it up in one hand, staying in bounds, keeping bounds. Golly, these two are fun to watch.
Handoff coming to the near side, and that's Robinson who cuts it up to the 10. And maybe a yard or two, maybe 3 yards actually on that. A nice run. Well, but the last play, it was one of those no Danny no type moments.
Yeah.
But Alves actually made a great play out of that.
Well, and that,
and it was matched by a great catch by Fuller, too. I mean, he was surrounded by defenders there.
I mean, Monty, by now I'll give credit to the receiver first on a lot of occasions, but that was really set up by both of those.
Here's Alves. Oh, what a move. What a move. He runs up the middle, fakes out a defender, runs towards the end zone, and it's touchdown time in Texas, and one of the most incredible runs I've ever seen in my entire life.
Are we sure he's a sophomore?
Alves went up the middle, saw a man in his face, did a spin-around move, faked the guys. I think the guy's jock is laying around the 9-yard line.
Along with his right leg and left shoulder.
Wow. What a spin move and a touchdown for Darren Alves.
My legs broke just watching it.
I may have to have an ACL replacement again after that one. 35-22 awaiting the PAT. This one is a very high kick, and Travis Yarborough's kick is good, and it's 36-22. McKinney Boyd in the lead, and wow. That's all I can say. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. We were in awe over that touchdown run by Alves, and we were sitting here going, my goodness, have you ever seen anything like that? And I'm talking to Steve Kirk, McKinneyNews.net, and he says, yes, every week.
Well, he's just like, man, it happens. Like it's so pedestrian to him. Here we are just gushing over him. He's like, yeah, I've seen it before.
Every week. Because I literally said, have you ever seen anything like that? He goes, yeah, every week.
Yep.
Wow. What a special talent he is. There's an onside kick by McKinney Boyd, and it's almost recovered. The defender, actually, the Bronco, Lamar Peoples, hit the ball. He was going after it to recover the ball, and he actually touched it and it bounced off his chest and bounced forward about 10 yards. And, of course, there was no way they were going to recover it at that point.
No. How about a Bank of America scoring drive?
American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap.
Real quick, 5 plays, 38 yards, a minute 46 ran off the clock, and, of course, a terrific touchdown run there by Darren Alves, and his third rushing touchdown of the night.
All right. And here comes Springtown, moving right to left with 7:27 left to go in the third quarter, down 36-22. Wilson in shotgun as always. We'll have 3 receivers near side. Handoff Kubrak up the middle. Look out to the 40. To the 45, near side 50, switches hands with the ball. 45 and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Lamar Peoples finally drags him out, but you have to wonder why in the world you have a talent like him and you don't utilize him as much as you do.
Well, and it's really curious because right now he's likely to be the biggest gainer there is. They've given it to him sometimes, and the Boyd defense has been able to stop him. But I can tell you right now, they're stopping the pass a lot more than they're stopping him. I expect to see him 2 out of every 3 plays at the bare minimum.
Shotgun. Jay will give us some stats on Kubrak after this play. Shotgun, 3 receivers right side, handoff. Kubrak up the middle, another big hole to the 30-yard line and down right there, close to another first down, about a 10-yard gain for Kubrak on first down.
Well, and he's now over the 100-yard mark, 11 carries for 103 yards.
11 carries.
Jeez.
And he's only touched the ball on 3 receptions, so he's only touched the ball 13 times here tonight.
Shotgun. Wilson wants to throw the home run ball in the corner, and it's almost intercepted, and I believe it is. It is picked off by McKinney Boyd, Parker Bolinas, at about the 3-yard line.
Just not a good pass. He overthrew the receiver, and so that brings back to the point you had, Monty.
Once again, Kubrak was running all over McKinney Boyd, and for some reason they want to throw the home run ball, and it doesn't work.
Well, here's what they were trying. I guarantee what they were trying to do is get the Boyd defense looking run first. Hey, now that you've got that, now that your linebackers are coming up, now that your safeties are coming up, now we'll throw a post route. The problem is the pass was over the head of the receiver, and Parker Bolinas was reading the ball perfectly, and it was going to be an easy catch for him.
Well, here's McKinney Boyd on first down. Alves wants to run up the middle, bounces it out, gets a good block by Nate Hill to the 12 and out of bounds there about the 13-yard line, and they're going to call a flag on Nate Hill, I believe.
Well, we'll see. I'm not necessarily certain where it came out, but it came by the referee on a run. Generally indicates a holding. Indeed it is. Well, you can take good news out of it, though. The ball's at the 4-yard line, so it's only going to be a 2-yard penalty. However, that puts you that much closer to the back of your end zone. And for as much as Alves has been able to make spectacular plays, he's also been caught in the backfield on a couple of occasions.
Now, I believe that was on the right guard, Brenton Liggins.
We'll try to check down with Jay Lindley. Jay, what do you got for us?
Guys, I don't know if y'all been watching Jeff Fuller on those last 2 catches, but he was tippy-toeing down the sideline, and any person in the stands probably would have said he was out of bounds, but he was actually in because it was right there in front of me. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks. John.
Well, I've been trying to get you to do that this entire year, and it came in the 4th.
You know, Jay Lindley, John Leidy. Here's a play up the middle, and it's going to be a handoff, and not much doing there. Maybe a couple of yards. Nate Hill on the carry for McKinney Boyd. Again, it's real hard to see here. We're real low to the playing field, and we have the lights on in the press box, which is not normal for us.
That's ultimately what's doing. We're having to fight through a glare that we don't normally fight through.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 for McKinney Boyd, moving left to right. And a man moves on the front of the offensive line, and that's going to be Brent White, the junior right tackle for McKinney Boyd. Moved a little bit early.
Well, and Monty, you remember I was talking about at the beginning of the game, and particularly in that first quarter, the good teams don't commit penalties. The bad teams do, and that's what Boyd was doing. And you notice when they started getting drives together and getting momentum, they weren't getting flagged as much.
Well, and that's penalty number 12. That's penalty number 12 tonight on McKinney Boyd, 77 yards. So,
handoff, running right side. No, that's Alves. He kept it. And he's going to be tackled out of bounds at around the 7-yard lines. That kid never gives up.
He's a pinball.
He fights till every last moment. And I don't know what he was doing down here on the sidelines. I guess he was stretching or pulling his pants up.
Well, he got hit so many times, his uniform probably got screwed around. But did you see that? I mean, the last hit was a pinball. The guy was trying to wrap him up, couldn't hit him, and I was kind of bouncing off him. And unfortunately, he was out of territory. But yeah, I'm going to call him the pinball kid.
3rd down and 7 here, and Alves wants to throw. Why not look for Fuller? Oh, and he dropped it this time, and that could be a late hit.
It actually wasn't Fuller.
You're right.
A.J.
It was
Jones.
A.J. Jones over there.
A.J.
And A.J. Jones took a pop. He dropped the ball. The ball was on the ground for a little bit. Yeah. That was very questionable about whether that was a late hit or not.
Well, and, it's right along the same lines as some of the pass interference non-calls in the first quarter, and so if you're going to err on the side of let them play.
Well, we haven't seen too many punts
tonight.
This is
the first punt tonight from McKinney Boyd. We've only seen 2 from Springtown.
Yeah, there's more turnovers than punts, right?
Yeah.
Travis Yarborough back to punt will stand about 6 yards deep in his own end zone. Back for Springtown will be Danny Ferguson, standing at at the McKinney Boyd 42-yard line. Yarborough gets off an end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce at the 42. Take a good McKinney Boyd hop. Cross to the 50 is the returner, Ferguson, who breaks away down the near sideline, and he may score. He's tackled at the 10-yard line. A nice return by Danny Ferguson, and it's going to be Blake Gainey making the stop for McKinney Boyd to save the touchdown.
Well, and I don't know quite who 83 is. I don't have an update. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm sorry, David Vasquez, who was down on punt coverage. He was the only one who really had a chance at making a tackle. But, like Alves has done to some defenders on the other end, his shoes were faked out.
48-yard punt with a 45-yard return.
Yep.
And again, I hate to say it, but good teams know, okay, here's we got a holding call. So
yeah, they'll back it up a little bit for Springtown.
Holding came a little bit more deeper into the return, so it's still really great field position, Bonnie.
Still inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. 5:06 left to go in the third quarter. McKinney Boyd leading 36-22.
Well, it tells you that the holding came in at the 17 and he was tackled at the 10, so that was a really useless penalty.
Shotgun for Wilson, hands off Kubrak up the middle, dancing and darting his way to the outside. Look out, 10. And he's going to wrestle his way down to, about the 10-yard line. I called it prematurely the 10. He was about at the 15. So they'll mark him down at the 10-yard line. An obvious first down for Springtown.
Monty, can we get a memo to the coaches to run every play on the end zones to the near side of us? It makes it a lot easier to call. It's really hard to see when they get down there at the far side because, it's absolutely at the 10. It's going to be first and goal, so the furthest you can go without getting a first down.
Wilson in shotgun. Kubrak stands to his right. Two receivers to either side. A man jumps. Both linemen are pointing at each other.
Well, the tackle moved first, so it's funny that I have to say that. Was it the guard?
It was Justin McNeely for.
Oh, he was playing in tackle position. That's what happened there. Yeah. Well, let me rephrase that just to say the furthest you can go without getting a first down. I guess barring penalty, maybe. Now it's first and goal at 15. Again, good teams don't do that kind of thing.
4:37 left to go in the third. McKinney Boyd on top, 36-22. Springtown has the ball at the McKinney Boyd 15-yard line. Handoff up the middle, and a nice gainer to about the 8-yard line. Is that
Kubrak?
That's Kubrak once again.
Yeah, right now, you know what? Oh, no,
that's
sorry.
Wilson.
Sorry to throw you offside,
keeper.
You know what? If I'm Springtown right now, I don't throw another pass this drive. The running game's working too well.
Kubrak moves over to the left side of the quarterback now. Awaiting the snap. And he gets it. Handoff Kubrak. Running right tackle. A nice play by Matt Morton to stop him. If he stopped at the 6-yard line, it'll be third down and goal from the 6.
Yeah, as we get down here near the end of the third quarter, it's really going to be the team that's going to be able to establish the run here at the end of the game that will have, or near the end of the game, that will have the most success.
Landry Kemp checks in. Cody Sieber checks out for McKinney Boyd. On third and goal from the 6, Kubrak standing beside Wilson in shotgun. Gets it, drops back 3 steps, wants to throw, flushed out of the pocket, throws, and he wants to run to the outside. And he's going to be knocked out of bounds. I'm telling you, it is so hard to see over there. I'm having to use my binoculars and then move them away, and by the time I move them away, you can't see.
Well, and to kind of paint the picture that folks at home might understand, have you ever watched the high school highlight shows on TV, and you got these guys out there in the corner, and they're going down on the far end of the field, and you really can't see anything except what the announcer described? That's kind of what this is.
Or watching game film from real far away.
Yeah, I don't want to make excuses for us, but it's fourth and goal.
There it is, fourth and goal from the 1. Put the binoculars away. Here is Wilson in shotgun. Kubrak to his right. Somebody moved up front, but no call. A bad snap once again, and Wilson is knocked down. Picks it up somehow, rolling to the left, in trouble, and sacked at the 14-yard line by Lamar Peoples.
Mistakes.
Last year's game, Springtown had all kinds of problems from the center to the quarterback exchange. I remember Landon Turner had all kinds of problems just getting the snap. It went over his head several times. He couldn't pick it up several times. And that's been the case tonight as well. It's been several snaps not being able to make it back to the quarterback, and that has been tremendously costly for Springtown.
Well, and I tell you, at this stage of the game, there's really no excuse for that. This is something that has to be ironed out unless you have a center in there, a quarterback who's not used to this thing. But most of it, or I shouldn't say most, a lot of it has been the quarterback not hanging on to it.
Nate Hill in motion is going to get the hand, running left tackle, look out. He's got the 20, 25, 30, up to the 40. And he's dragged down by the collar at about the 45-yard line, shy of the midfield stripe. Again, moving left to right, 2:11 left to go in the third. McKinney Boyd leading 36-22, and a nice run there on first down for Nate Hill.
Yeah, you took that Thunder ride out. A lot better start to this drive than the last one with their own end zone at their heels. They've got a lot more room to operate now, and now this comes to the point where you might want to start grinding it out a little bit more, getting a 4, 5, 6 minute drive going.
Man in motion, stands behind Alves, and he gets the handoff up the middle, and that is Robinson, I believe, for about 4 yards to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, and right now there's nothing wrong with getting a 4-yard gain on first down. Your bare minimum going to take 25 to 30 seconds off the clock. It's going to keep on moving. You get positive yardage, and if you average that out, obviously it doesn't always average out, but you'll start to churn that ground game out and take that time off.
Nate Hill in motion, McKinney Boyd with a 2-touchdown lead. Second down and about 6. Alves wants to run it around the left side, looking for that corner. Cuts it up, has the first down and out of bounds at the 45-yard line inside Springtown territory. And that'll stop the clock with 1:32 in the third. But you know what? McKinney Boyd looks pretty good driving here.
Well, and you get a first down, Ultimately what you'd like to do is get the first down, stay in bounds, because the clock stops, they'll set the chains, and then the clock starts again as the play clock starts, so you're still able to churn out time.
Well, they marked him just short of a first down. They said he went out of bounds at the 49, so it's going to bring up a big third down play. We're here in the second half. McKinney Boyd 1 for 2 on third down conversions. 3rd and 2 here at the 49-yard line. Moving left to right. Alves wants to keep it around the right side. Well, you want a first down? Here's your first down at the 45-yard line.
Golly,
enough for about a 3.5, 4-yard gain for McKinney Boyd. That'll move the sticks.
Well, you remember how fun watching Herbal to Douglas and Herbal work at his receivers? It's almost the same thing with Alves, except the excitement comes with his running game. I mean, I don't know. We've seen his arm to some degree. I don't know the full extent of it. But can you imagine if he had Herbal's arm too?
Oh, yeah. Here's Alves. Throws it out in the flats, and it's caught. Is that A.J. Jones crossing the 38 down to the 35-yard line? Near a first down. I believe he has another first down. And no, that's Robinson. That's Joseph Robinson on the catch for McKinney Boyd. He and A.J. Jones are fairly similar in stature, and the numbers are a little hard to read when they're, the one wears 21, A.J. Jones, and Robinson wears 25.
Yeah.
So
and with the glare, again, I don't want to sound like we're making excuses, but we're a little bit out of our element
No
here.
excuses, but yeah.
What we should do is bring a blanket, tape it to the window, carry like a little tent or something.
Under a minute here in the third quarter. Shotgun, Alves, handoff. Nate Hill running right tackle, burst through for a moment, and look out. He went down kind of funny. That's where you start wondering about knees getting banged up a little bit, but he makes his way inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Hops right up. He's okay, so it'll be second down and about 5 after actually about 3 after call it a 7-yard gain.
We've talked a lot about Alves' running game today, but he's done it through the air as well. 11 of 15 for 175 yards passing. On the ground, 17 carries for 131 yards. So,
how many of those receiving yards are from Fuller?
5 catches, 104 yards for Fuller tonight.
So the yards are there, but he's getting completions to other guys too, which is nice. Something that I haven't mentioned a whole lot. We've seen Alves run really well, and I guess we'll finish that point later. Thanks, scoreboard.
That is the end of the third quarter. McKinney Boyd looking pretty good so far. 36-22. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 97.5. It is fourth quarter time in Texas. 36-22. Springtown trailing McKinney Boyd.
Monty, I got to say, one of the things I really like about this atmosphere This is really a great band that Springtown has.
They really do have a tremendous band. I did get a chance to listen to them a little bit and a half, and tell you what, they've got a great band.
Well, they're spirited, too. It's like they really care.
Second down and about 3. Nate Hill gets a hand up the middle and going nowhere, and I mean absolutely nowhere. Met at the line of scrimmage. And now they've even lost a yard. It'll be, they're going to give him 6 inches. So it'll be third down. And about 3, they'll call it. 11:40 left to go in this game. 36-22, McKinney Boyd in the lead.
Well, obviously a bigger gain is more preferable, but the main thing is clock's still running. You gained a little bit of yards. You're still in great shape here.
Third down and 3. Alves in shotgun formation. Nate Hill comes in motion from the slot to the tailback position. They fake the hand to him. Alves wants to throw. Rolling out, and now he is on the ground and fumbles, and that's going to go back over to Springtown. So we talk so much about Darren Alves and the sophomore quarterback and how good he has done, but that's also 3 fumbles tonight.
Well, and the frustrating thing about that one, I wasn't watching him, but I was watching Fuller run a post. He had his step on his man, and he also had position on him, so if he could have just thrown another one up there, I don't want to say it was a touchdown. It probably would have been, but at the bare minimum, it wouldn't have been a turnover. At the bare minimum, it's an incompletion.
Well, at least, for McKinney Boyd's sake, they don't fumble deep in their own territory. They fumble deep in theirs, in Springtown's.
Springtown's running the flags out, and one of the O's didn't go, and so it just was Poge.
Shotgun. We'll go back to the field now.
Yeah. I observe stuff, especially when we're closer to the field.
Moving left to right is Springtown. Shotgun handoff, Kubrak. Big hole up the middle, bounces out to the 33-yard line. About a 4-yard gain on first down to bring up second down and 6. Under 11 minutes now in the fourth quarter.
Well, and the big thing about that turnover is that for bare minimum, if you can convert a field goal out of it, it's a 3-score game. And by turning the ball over, you really give Springtown a chance, because I'm going to tell you, it's really easy to score 2 touchdowns in 10 minutes.
A.J. Jones in at linebacker for McKinney Boyd. Wilson on the run, throws it out, and I believe it is caught up. They're going to say incomplete as he was trying to hit his man Rhett Ballard on the near sidelines. And they actually made the catch, but they'll say he stepped out of bounds, or he was out of bounds when he caught it. It was once again Matt Morton in coverage. And I tell you what,
that's the first pass attempt by Wilson since the interception.
We've got a long way to go before we announce the Torchmark Corporation star of the game, but right now Matt Morton's on my small list.
Yeah.
Handoff, Kubrak running right guard, bounces out to the right tackle, cuts it up inside. He is electric down to the 48-yard line. Raphael Kubrak. I'll tell you what, just imagine if he were in an offense, another late flag down. This one is a personal foul. And there is a McKinney Boyd Bronco down.
That's Matt Morton. Either that or Garrett. I can see the 8. And we can see a Pojo player standing right in front of him, asking if he's okay. Looks the way he's sitting up.
And now he spins around. He's still sitting up.
Well, I was specifically watching Matt on that play. He was chasing down Kubrak, and he was kind of in an awkward position when a blocker kind of pushed him down. And when you're kind of leaning already and you get pushed to the side you're leaning, it's easier to fall down.
We'll check on John Lighty down on the sidelines. John, what do you got for us?
Guys, actually, surprisingly, it's not that warm down here, but the heat cramps are starting to set in for both teams. I've seen trainers for both teams actually stretching out wide receivers and running backs' legs. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks very much, John Lighty. And as they move the sticks here, Jay, you got some scores for us?
Oh, yeah, scores from around the area. Crowley over Denton, 37-0. Denton Ryan over South Oak Cliff, 21-14 in the fourth. And Waxahachie tied with Texarkana, 28-all in the fourth quarter.
Shotgun. Wilson throws out, and that's caught by Ballard. Makes a move, kind of like that's one of those TO screens. Just throws it out there, and you're trying to hope that your receiver makes some yardage out of it. And Ballard made a few yards. And it's going to be close to a first down, maybe about 3 yards short, 2.5 maybe.
Yeah, and the thing that Brad Turner did with his offense was send some shirts out there to block, too.
Kubrak up the middle, big hole. And finally down at the 20-yard line. Obviously a first down and more. And man, I tell you what, could you imagine if Raphael Kubrak was in an I formation offense?
Of course, that begs the question, since they're in a spread formation, would he be successful?
True.
We don't know.
Once again, Wilson keeps it this time. He fakes the hand, and he's going to gain a couple inside the 20-yard line to the 17, in between the 17 and the 18-yard line. 9:36 left to go in this football game. McKinney Boyd with a 2-touchdown lead, 36-22.
And then it goes back to that turnover. I mean, it really does. All of a sudden, you've got Springtown threatening, and they've done it in a matter of about 2.5 minutes.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the left. Kyle Wilson, the 6', 190-pound senior in shotgun, gets it, hands off. Raphael Kubrak up the middle, bounces out once again. Look out, 10, down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Fights his way down to about the 6. A helmet flies off of McKinney Boyd.
And again, we talk a lot about what Kubrak has done, but that's a great example of it's not all him. And you know, you'll hear a lot of coaches say, "Don't forget to thank your line. Don't forget to thank your line," and there's a good reason for it. You know, the Boyd defensive line were holding their ground. The difference was they weren't able to get anything, and finally Kubrak was able to find the hole.
Yeah, there's the right side of his line. Justin McNeely and Josh Maddox doing a great job over there.
All 5 really are, but on that particular play, they were holding up their men.
2 receivers to either side now. Springtown knocking on the door. 1st and goal at the 7. Moving left to right. Hand off to Kubrak. No, Wilson wants to keep it, and he fights his way down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 5. Just a 2-yard gain by the quarterback. They're running that old quarterback trap where he fakes the hand, and he just keeps it right up the gut. And about a 2-yard gain there.
Yeah, and that's really a key, stopping him on the 1st down, because now the clock runs a little bit more.
This is a pass out left side, and, well, it is a touchdown for Springtown as Wilson throws it out to Andrew Haddock. That's Haddock's first touchdown of the year. He came in with 16 catches, 125 yards, and he scores right there to bring it within 8, 36-28 with 8:19 left to go.
And that was a simple out pattern, a simple fly. Haddock in the slot position simply, started running toward the sideline, turned his head around, and a nice pass to Wilson. And then he had a couple of blockers, and Haddock was easily able to stroll into the end zone. And here he is going to hold on this extra point.
Yep, and this is going to be Montana. Is that right? No, Montana Marsh, and the kick is no good. So, hey, 8 points. You got an 8-point difference here, 36-28 with 8:19 left to go in the 4th. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Porcupine Stadium, where McKinney Boyd leads 36-28.
Big extra point miss.
Yeah, that was a big miss.
Let me redeem myself here, Monty. How about an American Bank scoring drive update after the kick?
All right, here is the kick, and it's going to be taken by Jeff Fuller at the 15-yard line. The long strider makes it up to the 30, breaks away from one tackler and down at the 41-yard line, and that's kind of strange looking, because it's like Akeem Olajuwon returning a kick.
How'd you miss him?
He's a foot taller than everyone else out there. American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay.
9 plays, 67 yards, 2 minutes and 54 ticks off the clock. And, of course, Kyle Wilson to Andrew Haddock, a 5-yard touchdown pass. Haddock with 5 receptions in this one. He came into the night with 2 or 3 games, 6 receptions in each of those games. So looking to continue that trend.
Moving right to left is McKinney Boyd with 8:11 left to go in the game. Up by 8, 36-28. Alves wants to keep it. Running around the left side. Comes near side 50. 45-40. It's a foot race. 40 and out of the bounds at the 30-yard line. And Alves almost took it to the house. Danny Ferguson was over there to kind of push him out.
Boy, if he doesn't trip up Alves, that's gone. And there was a great block coming up front. But it's maybe a little too great.
And Alves is a little upset here once again as they're going to call this one back.
Of course, it depends on where the hold happened, but it looks like it was on the offensive line. If it came downfield, it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Alves is kind of limping a little bit as he was walking back. Now he seems to be walking fine, but he had a little limp to him.
Just walk it off. How many times does a Have we heard that from a coach before?
Yeah.
Well,
And that's penalty number 14.
Whoa.
97 penalty yards tonight. And you got to think there's a couple of penalties that have been either waved off or negated. So,
Hey, how many did we have last week? 22 penalties last week in the game.
between two teams, though. This is
Right.
14 on one team.
Wow.
well, let's remember one wiped a 50-yard return off.
Here's a handoff to Robinson running around that far side, and he makes a couple of moves. Another flag down. It'll be a gain of about 5 yards, but hold everything. A flag down in the backfield. Alves is screaming towards the official.
I think he's screaming at his own lineman.
It may be. Alves is really upset out there.
Yeah. Well, I would be too as a quarterback. First of all, you run all the way down to the 10 or 15-yard line, get called back for holding in the very next play, you take another step backwards. At the beginning of the drive, I was thinking, boy, I would really be comfortable right now if they got a score out of this one, because I don't think that Springtown is done with by any stretch of the means. They're way too good. Now at this point, I'm hoping we don't go back any further and lose more ground in the yard game, because at this point, if you get a 30-yard punt off, they're starting near midfield.
Well, what was pretty good field position to start the drive is now awful.
Yeah, was it
at their own 24?
1st and 30.
Shotgun handoff. Alves running left side, trying to find the corner, cuts it up, maybe about a 6-7 yard gain up to the 31-yard line.
Hey, and
It's still second down and a truckload here.
No kidding. At the very minimum, you're taking a minute off the clock getting those penalties. But, I'm just glad on this last play they're finally running to us. We haven't seen a whole lot of that this game, and it makes it real easy to get a good look at what Alves can do when they're running on the near side. They were running the option again, a play they've had a lot of success on. But this time Springtown defends it a little better.
Well, I'm going to say this. In 14 years of doing this, I've never had to broadcast an overtime game.
Knock on wood. I played in one.
Don't want to do it tonight. Here's A.J. Jones in motion. We'll go in motion behind Alves, who drops back and wants to throw. Fuller wide open, and he in and out of his hands and intercepted at the 48-yard line. Coming up is the linebacker, and he drops the ball. But it goes out of bounds. There will be a hold. There's a flag down. It was intercepted by Brian Bowling, the 6'3", 180-pound senior. Fuller, for a moment, for a small window, was wide open, but Alves threw it a little bit late and allowed a defender to get there, and that defender was Brian Bowling.
Well, even then, Fuller has had his hand on the ball, but there was 3 defenders around there. One of them hit it, made him lose it initially, almost got it back before another one hit it, pumped it back in the air. And that's something that you're taught, hey, if you're not going to catch it, bare minimum, make sure no one else does. And unfortunately, Fuller batted it straight up into the air. It's easy to say that up here in the booth, make sure no one else gets it, but when you're down and you're this close to getting it and someone knocks you over, it's a little bit different story.
Yep.
But, again, going back to the other side, Springtown bails out the Broncos to some degree by committing a penalty.
Well, what scares me the most about this, okay, McKinney Boyd is up 36-28, right?
Yeah.
So they have an 8-point lead. They have 6:43 left to go in the game. And it seems like to me Springtown has finally figured out, hey, this Rafael Kubrak kid's pretty good.
Either that or they figured out that Boyd doesn't have a defense for him.
Either way,
yeah.
Kubrak has been racking up yardage as of late here in the second half. And if they have figured out the run game, then this could be a deadly.
He's gained 98 yards here in the second half alone, 162 for the game on 17 carries.
Wow.
Man.
Shotgun formation for Springtown at the 49-yard line. Handoff, Kubrak up the middle, and he's not going to get a whole lot here. Maybe about 2 yards on the carry into. Although they're in the McKinney Boyd territory at the 47-yard line.
Did you see what Kubrak was doing at the start of the play? I mean, it's real curious. He had his back to the ball, and then as soon as the snap turns around and takes it, I don't know what that's about. I mean, it would look like it was designed that way. I don't know if it was a false step at first.
2nd down and 9, throwing out to the flat is Wilson. It's caught, and about a 6-yard gain up to the 43-yard line is the receiver, Clayton. I believe that's Clayton Cooper. Or no, no, actually that was Haddock again. Haddock made the reception there. So it'll be a crucial 3rd down and about 4.5 here with 5:55 left to go and rolling.
Yeah. One thing the Boyd defense do is pursued a little too far. Haddock was able just to take a step and cut it back inside and got the bulk of the yards on that play.
3 receivers to the left side. Kubrak in the backfield. 1 receiver to the near side is Ballard. Shotgun. Wilson rolls out right. Looking for Ballard. Now he tucks it. He has the first down and more to the 35, down to the 33-yard line. So move the sticks for Springtown. They're still alive here with 5:30 left to go in this football game.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of Boyd's drive, I'm not comfortable with an 8-point. I'll be honest with you, if they scored again, I'm not comfortable with a 15-point lead with half the quarter left. I mean, that's just the explosive power that this Porcupine offense has, with Kubrak especially.
First down and 10 for the Springtown Porcupines. 36-28, Boyd in the lead. 5-11 and rolling. Shotgun. Wilson looking right, throws it right, wide open. And caught is Rhett Ballard down to the 10-yard line. Parker Bolinas was playing loose coverage, and Rhett Ballard stepped right in front of him on a quick end pattern and made the catch and easily strolled down to the 10-yard line before Bolinas caught back up with him.
Well, the reason Parker was so wide off is Wilson didn't look him down. He was looking to the left side at first.
Here's Wilson rolling right side, getting close to that end zone and down at the 2-yard line. So the old quarterback keeper around the right side with 4:50 and rolling here, and this brings back memories of the Week 1 game for McKinney Boyd as they led most of the game and ended up losing in the late parts of the fourth quarter. But, hey, 8-point lead right here.
And there's still a lot of football left in this one.
Wilson drops back about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, which is the 1-yard line. Second down and goal from the 1. Fakes the hand, and Wilson strolls over for the touchdown. So a 2-point game here with Springtown scoring. Makes it 36-34, and obviously they'll go for 2 here.
Yeah, and it's really funny that situation turned. Boyd was able to get that multiple touchdown lead thanks to turnovers, and then Springtown's able to cut it back thanks to turnovers. And again, it goes back to good teams don't shoot themselves in the foot. Right now, both teams are. I'd
be real surprised if we didn't see a timeout called here.
Well, there you go.
There is one. Timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. Real quick, maybe 30 seconds. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 4:20 left to go. 2-point conversion. Wilson rolling out right side. Throws it backside wide open. And a 2-point conversion for Andrew Haddock. Ties the game with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this game. Andrew Haddock hauls it in from Kyle Wilson on the throwback.
That is one of the best 2-point conversion plays I think I've ever seen at the high school level. Quite simply what they did, everybody rolled out to the right side. Haddock stayed and blocked, and then it's what you can do. It's like you let the blocker go by, and then all of a sudden you take out left. Wilson ran it perfectly, didn't look at all until Haddock had breaking free, and by that time, the only thing that's going to stop it is a drop pass. Really well executed by Springtown.
We'll take, we'll keep it right here. John Leidy, I believe John Leidy had something for us down on the sidelines. John, go ahead.
On that last defensive series for McKinney Boyd, the coaches actually switched the way they were going to call the plays. They were calling the play, and they were going to stick with it. This defensive possession that they just gave up the touchdown, they went back to the way they were doing it in the first half and the beginning of the second half, where they called a play, and then they waited for the offense to come out and then changed the play on the field. Obviously, Pojo got a touchdown there, so let's see what the defense can do maybe on this last stand up here. Coming back up, y'all.
All right, John, thank you very much. Now let's kick it on over to Jay Lindley for an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap.
6 plays, 49 yards, 2 minutes and 23 seconds ran off the clock. A 2-yard run by Kyle Wilson for the touchdown, and, of course, the 2-point conversion is good, and we're all knotted up at 36 with 4:20 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, here's Montana Marsh's kickoff. It's going to bounce at the 25. Jeff Fuller picks it up at the 20, up to the 30, and knocked backwards at the 34-yard line. Still not bad field position for McKinney Boyd. I've seen worse, so this is okay for McKinney Boyd. 4:14 left to go. And this may rest on Travis Yarborough's leg by the time it's all over with tonight. He had a 30-yard field goal last week versus Denton.
Well, and let's It is tied. There's 4 minutes left. Obviously, momentum right now is on Springtown side, but let me tell you, this offense is capable. In fact, if you want to go back to that drive they had previous to this one, it was a holding call that brought it back. Alves had it down inside the red zone.
Well, interceptions and fumbles have also been a part of Alves' game tonight, too.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, right.
Here's A.J. Jones in motion behind Alves, and he fakes the hand to him. Alves is going to run around the right side, and he gains about 5 or 6 to about the 38-yard line, shy of midfield, so they're still in their own territory. 4:02 and rolling here in the game. 36-36. McKinney Boyd and Springtown knotted up.
Well, let me tell you, all you have to do right now, lots of time left. I mean, it's incredible how long 4 minutes can last in a high school football game. All you got to do, get positive yardage every play. Don't commit a penalty. Don't commit a turnover. There's your 3 keys to this one right now.
You make it sound so easy.
Nate Hill in motion. They're going to fake the hand to him. Alves jumps over another defender, and he's got some incredible athletic moves, but only a gain of 1. But how can that kid jump that high over defenders?
Well, if I'm Coach Drake, I'm going to say, hey, let's minimize the jumping here, because when you're up in the air, you have no control. All it takes is a big hit, you're down on the ground, and that's almost what happened there. He was able to regain his foot, but by that time he got on the ground, the rest of the defense was there. Stand on your feet as much as possible. Again, as much as possible.
3 receivers to the near side for McKinney Boyd, moving right to left. Alves just rolls out left side. He's got some room. He's got the 49-yard line, a first down, with 2:56 and rolling here in the first. The fourth.
We don't want that long. It's been a.
I think I was thinking about the first overtime. Yeah. I think that was what's going through my mind.
No, it's not there either. But again, nice job, Alves. He had the first down. He knew he had the first down. So instead of trying to do too much or doing more than he needs to, he just simply kind of dove on that one and didn't risk an injury and basically kept the drive over. Didn't risk a turnover even.
You got to give credit to William Smalley, Landry Kemp, and those guys up front doing a good job for Boyd. Rolling out right side is Alves, and he turns the corner, makes some nice nifty moves, and a gain of about 15 down to the 36-yard line. Another first down, and here pretty soon, you're thinking about field goal territory. With 2:27 left to go, we're tied at 36.
Monty, you remember that story you were talking about where Coach Drake put you aside and said, hey, let me tell you about this kid?
Yeah.
Well, it's blatantly obvious now what he was talking about. I mean, this kid has got skills.
And he's a sophomore. You got to think, when Eric Herbal was a sophomore, he was playing a slot back.
Yeah.
He wasn't even playing quarterback.
And he wasn't throwing that well then.
Well, here's Nate Hill. He's going to get the hand. Running right tackle, bounces out. He's got some nifty moves out to about the 27-yard line, about an 8-yard gain, under 2 minutes. Whew. This is going to be a dandy finish, I have a feeling, here tonight.
And let's wonder now, because they've gone down the field so fast, just throwing this out there for the sake of discussion, is there too much time left on the clock?
Well,
we'll see.
There's a $1:44 right now, and still rolling.
That's the key
Second
thing.
Down and about 3, and they're taking their good old sweet time getting to the line of scrimmage.
Yes, the 2 of the last 3 runs have come from on a first down to a first down.
Darren Alves, the quarterback, shotgun. A.J. Jones will come in motion, stand right beside him. A.J. Jones gets the carry, running right tackle, trying to make a man miss, get to the out-of-bounds marker, and I know he's going to go out of bounds at about the 27, which is the line of scrimmage, but does that stop the clock? And yes, it does, at 1:19. So not really I guess you can go either way on that.
Yeah.
Well, and I was about to say, from the Porcupine standpoint, do you call a time? I mean, you got to start stopping the clock.
Right.
That for Springtown, that was what they were dreaming for, was someone to run out of bounds or an incomplete pass.
Yeah, right now, if you're A.J. Jones, run upfield. Don't dance to the sidelines. That's not going to help.
Here comes Nate Hill in motion, and Alves is going to keep it around the left side. Makes a cut up the middle to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. It is touchdown time in Texas. Darren Alves scores with a $1:12 left to go, and McKinney Boyd takes the lead. 42-36 in a barn burner in Springtown, Texas.
Well, I would come up with a fancy comment, but it got faked out at the 10. Whew.
Man, what a... And you know what? Steve Kirk just writes it down.
Yeah.
He sees it every week.
He's yawning right now. He at least concedes this is his best.
Well, Yarborough's kick is up, and it is true. 43-36. Hang on. There's still a minute 12 back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, it's Darren Alves versus Raphael Kubrak here in the fourth quarter. And Alves just gets a left hook in right there with a 27-yard touchdown run. 1:12 left to go in this football game. McKinney Boyd goes on top 43-36 with that touchdown. And here's the squib kick down to the right side, and Springtown's just going to fall on it at about the 33-yard line. So a minute 10, and Iggy Apolinar comes up with that recovery on the kick return there.
Well, he just did the smart thing. He didn't risk any sort of turnover. He didn't risk any sort of muff. Just fell on it.
I think Brad Turner probably told them that coming out that, hey, be expecting a squib kick. Don't be a hero. Just fall on it.
Yeah, right now your hero is likely to be Kubrak. You know, hey, if there is a minute 10 left, and the possibility that if you don't stop the clock, or if you get stopped for not a big gain or don't get a first down, you might have to take it to the air. It's right in that range.
Look at the enormous size advantage Springtown has on that offensive line compared to the defensive line of Boyd.
That's why I say it's not all Kubrak. You got to give credit to those guys up front.
Wilson in shotgun wants to throw, chased from behind and sacked at the 29-yard line or 26-yard line.
And Keith Owens.
Or is it Matt Morton?
Yeah, it's Matt Morton. It's the guy we've been calling all day. Hey, I tell you what, that's a great case to make him one of the stars.
You know what? I say we go ahead and do it.
Well, you got my vote. I mean, if there's been a guy who's been solid all night long on the defensive end, he's one of them.
Our Week 4 Torchmark Corporation star of the game is the outside linebacker for McKinney Boyd, Matt Morton.
Well, we should do an offensive-defensive one, because just as much as he's been solid on the defensive side, quite frankly, my knees are buckling every time I watch Alves. Do we have codes, and is that possible? Or can we do an offensive defense?
You know what? I'm quite certain we'll see Alves once again this year do something heroic.
Right,
let's just give it to Matt Morton for tonight.
Well, he's a big linebacker.
We'll see Alves down the road. I guarantee it.
Then, that's guys like Colton Floyd. They do a lot of stuff, and they don't necessarily get a lot of credit.
A minute 3 left to go in this football game. McKinney Boyd leading 43-36. Wilson rolls out left, throws it, and it's caught by Ballard at the 25, brought down immediately. A great play by Reese Redmond, the nose guard for McKinney Boyd, coming up all the way in coverage and making that play.
And that is a fantastic play, because he read it was a screen pass from the beginning. And for a nose tackle to do that, that's very heads up.
Third down, and this is going to be an incomplete pass to Ballard, out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So it will be now. Here's your ball game. Fourth down and 12 with 37 seconds left to go.
Well, and going back to that last pass pattern, Kyle Wilson really threw that one probably a lot earlier than was expected by the receiver.
I'll tell you this. Well, I'll tell you this right after this play, because this will give you some perspective on what this means. Here is Wilson in shotgun, and he will drop back, looking left side, now throws across the middle, and Kubrak makes the catch, close to a first down, and he has it to the 45, cuts it back to the middle of the field, and down at the 48-yard line, a first down, so I'll keep my mouth shut.
Well, and give it up to Andrew Haddock. Haddock made a great block that basically sprung Kubrak for the first down.
Well, let me tell you, one mistake that he did make was get out of bounds, so at least sometime will go off. Not a lot before they snap it, but, that's a play you have to make.
Shotgun, Wilson throws it immediately in the slot. Haddock makes the catch, crosses the 50 and out of bounds after he tries to cut it up a little bit at the 41-yard line. 15 seconds on the clock. Man, if you're driving around, put that seatbelt on if you don't have it on, because this is a classic.
Well, again, going back to the point of Kubrak not getting out of bounds, he lost 4 seconds. Now, let me tell you, 19 seconds you're feeling a lot more comfortable with than 15 seconds. I mean, that's a whole play.
15 seconds. McKinney Boyd with a 7-point lead, 43-36. Shotgun Wilson from the McKinney Boyd 41-yard line. Drops back 3 steps, looks right, throws right, and it's Ballard. And they say he caught it at the 31-yard line.
But, okay.
A nice catch by Ballard, and they've been trying to run that play. There's 6 seconds on the clock, by the way.
But did he get out of bounds, though, or did he get a first down, and the clock stops because of that?
Well, right now there's 6 seconds on the clock.
Is that?
And apparently a timeout. Oh, they're asking the official.
Now we get a timeout.
They're asking for a timeout. They finally get
Actually, it's an official timeout because they're discussing what happened.
Well, we're going to keep it right here.
Yeah, because here's the thing. The clock was going to stop one way or the other due to a first down. Now, what happens is at the time it looked like 8 seconds, and then I saw 7, then I saw 6. If he gets out of bounds, it's automatically stopped regardless. If he gets a first down, and as soon as the chains are set and the ball is set, the clock starts up again. And as we saw earlier with Kubrak, not getting out of bounds, 4 extra seconds were taken off the clock. Now, by not getting out of bounds, Springtown may have lost a total of 6 seconds.
And you may have just one play here. Depending on the type of play that you have, you could have one play.
You know what I might do if I'm Springtown? Run a quick out, get out of bounds, because you've got a timeout left at least, and then go for the home run. I mean, there's lots of ways to go in this one. This is one of the best games Boyd's ever played in terms of excitement, in terms of building energy, in terms of the close finish. And let me tell you, if they can pull the victory out of this one means a heck of a lot because it shows they can win in a close game, build confidence.
Yeah, this is the first true test.
Yeah.
And what a conference the officials are having at the 30.
And finishing a game. You know, they had the game in week 1 that they were in the situation that they lost in the final few minutes of the game. If they can win a game like this, that really gives you confidence.
Well, and let me add to the drama a little bit more. John Leidy was telling me the head boss for these officials are grading them up in the stands. So that adds a little bit more because they have to get this one right. Yeah.
Wow.
So apparently they ruled out of bounds.
Here we go. 6 seconds. 43-36. McKinney Boyd in the lead.
Oh, these Springtown fans are great, aren't they?
Well, they are. Everyone on their feet here at Porcupine Stadium. And these guys are trying to fill the Pojo.
Out in West Texas,
everybody has one of those. Wiley has Amo or Ama or whatever they call it over there.
Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out where the long delay is.
Here we go. All right. 43-36. McKinney Boyd in the lead. 6 seconds left to go. From the McKinney Boyd 30-yard line. Wilson under pressure. Has to run. Throws it up. A prayer. A home run ball. And McKinney Boyd intercepts it. It's intercepted by Philip Sears at the 11-yard line. And the ball game's over.
Well, you know what they were trying to do, Monty? They were trying to do exactly what I said was, quote, throw a quick out, get out of bounds. Here's what happened. The nose tackle for Boyd, Reese Redmond, got an immediate penetration on the center, and Kyle Wilson couldn't throw his pass. He kind of lost possession of him, so he had to run toward us. And by the time that happened, any chance of another play happening after this one was gone. So basically what he was doing was throwing up a prayer.
Any chance? Any chance that might be our Anchor Credit Loan money play of the game?
Well, that's weird.
The scoreboard has changed in Springtown's favor, but
60 to 30.
You can put up the scoreboard numbers whatever you want, but we have it written down here. 43-36, McKinney Boyd.
A winning non-district schedule for the Boyd Broncos, 2-1.
I think we'll have to talk to John Leidy down there and try to get Matt Morton, our player of the game, our Torchmark Corporation player of the game, and we'll also have to get Brandon's choice. Mr. Alves, Darren Alves, we'll have to check in with him later on, too.
Don't shortchange me here on Matt Morton. I think he's also a bit deserving, but I'll tell you, I'm impressed by the sophomore quarterback.
Let me give you this. Real quick. McKinney Boyd has a winning record. You know what?
Never happened.
McKinney North at one time has had a winning record, and that was after their first game they won at Princeton. They were 1-0. Since then, McKinney North has never had a winning record.
Well, technically, Boyd doesn't.
They have a 500 record. Well, technically, but you're right.
Yeah.
But this year,
well, when was the
Boyd,
first time North had for a season was up? I think it was obviously if they won their first game.
Well, they have to go back in the record book here.
If they won their first game, technically, that's above 500.
They were 8-4 in 2005. That was the first time that an overall season record that McKinney North had. But hey, 2-1 for McKinney Boyd. Congratulations!
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's pure speculation at this point, but maybe we'll see the first district win. Maybe we'll see a couple, and then again, prove the prognosticators, and I use that term loosely.
Well, I think if you're the
predict a district.
I think if you're the McKinney Lions, and you're preparing next week for this team, you're obviously not thinking about McKinney Boyd from a year ago.
No, absolutely not.
This is a brand new team.
Well, your quarterback alone makes it a brand new team. But here's this: McKinney North 3-0, McKinney 2-1, Boyd 2-1. Between it, we're looking at 7-2 between the three McKinney schools. That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. And John Leidy over there celebrating with the McKinney Boyd Broncos.
I think he's jumping up and down, slapping some helmets.
And we'll get a chance to talk to John here in just a moment. I think they're going to do the school song, and I think that's what they're doing right now. Jay's tallying up the totals for tonight's game, and he's got some work to do with this one.
You know what, though?
I don't know if it's the stats or the penalties either, though. I mean, there's a little bit of both.
Is that the same thing you said last week?
Yeah, maybe so.
Boy, this is going to make the trek home a lot more enjoyable, if you will.
Yeah,
good game, number one.
About a 2-hour run back home, isn't it? So it is not 60-33, as the scoreboard says, for all the people driving by. Nope, I'm sorry, Springtown.
Well,
43-36.
How about that? We talked about the fourth quarter was their weak link. They played really solid in this fourth quarter on all ends. Again, there's lots of things to iron out. We could joke about it because they won, but the penalties need to be ironed out. Turnovers need to be ironed out. But I tell you, this is a great nucleus. I'm not saying they're going to do great things this year, but they won't be a doormat. We
also got to see if John can talk to Don Drake at some point tonight too.
And of course, John real familiar with Coach Drake.
And
he played under him.
I believe John has somebody right now. Go ahead, John.
How do you feel about tonight's win?
Well, it feels great. I think anytime you get a win, you got to be happy, especially in a program as young as ours.
That's Don Drake.
We're still trying to learn how to win. And tonight I think was a great step forward. I mean, we faced some adversity early, and our kids fought back, and there at the end to drive the ball down the field and score the points to put us in the lead, and then our defense to hold. I mean, hats off to our kids.
After last season's 0-10, you got to feel like you're in a good position heading into District 2-1. You talked about making the big plays at the big time with your team after the game. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, we came over here feeling like we needed to keep the momentum from last week going, and that was my challenge to the kids is, guys, what happened last Thursday, while it was a great thing, we got to move forward and we got to build on that, and I think we did that tonight by continuing to compete, And, again, it goes back to adversity, and we've been in adverse situations before and haven't come out on top, and I think tonight when our kids are in the same situation, we kept fighting, made the plays. I mean, what can I say? I mean, Darren runs that ball in and gives us the points right there, and our defense holds out here on the field on the last play. I mean, it's a great thing for our kids. I'm excited for them.
Well, it's safe to say that we've learned a lot from your team in the past 3 games. Good luck next week in District, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you very much, John Leidy. Just pop on here. I think you got Jeff Fuller now.
I'm down here with wide receiver number 9, Jeff Fuller, who just recently committed to OU for Bob Stoops. Play up there, even though I'm a Longhorn fan. The guys say hook 'em horns.
Put those horns down.
But you had a great night. You made 2 key receptions right there at critical times on 3rd down, and you also were leading the way for Darian Alves blocking there, being real physical. Just looking at your jersey here, I would have to say that you did win the war.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. I like to come out, help my teammates. Darren's my boy and everything, so I'm going to get his blocks. He did a good job of giving me the ball today, and everything was clicking on offense, and I had a fun time. Just had a good time playing ball.
And can we get a prediction for the Texas-OU rivalry coming up?
Texas OU rivalry. I mean, if Texas is lucky enough to stay undefeated until then, I mean, man, it's going to be – I think OU's going to get them. I mean, Texas is going to play up, so I'll give it 45-13.
Oh, that a boy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Future sooner. I'd say good luck next week versus McKinney High School. Thank you.
All right, that's Jeff Fuller, and I like Jeff Fuller a lot better now. I didn't even know I liked him as much as I do.
Me too.
There's, I think he has one more guy down there.
For a whole bunch of yards tonight.
That's Alves.
But also, team effort. How was that?
Our team effort was real good today. I mean, we came out here a little sluggish, and then we stepped it up, and that last drive showed who had more heart, and we did it, so.
Well, everybody out there, I'd like to let y'all know that he is a sophomore. He will be with Boyd for 2 more years, so there's a lot to look forward to in the future. Can you tell us about that last drive right there, the winning drive that you made?
Oh, man. We were just hopefully not making any mistakes. I mean, just we wanted to score. We had to score, and we did it. Our offensive line held it down, and we did good. We had no mistakes that drive, so it was really a lot.
We say thank you and good luck next week against McKinney High School.
Hey, and that's Darren Alves right there. And, you know, what's funny, I'm looking across the field at Darren Alves and John Leidy. John is he's about 4 inches taller than Darren Alves. And John, well, if you know John Leidy, he's not a real tall guy.
Yeah, remember, we pulled up the stat. He was 7-13 during his playing days, so
Let's not talk too bad about John. John's a great guy.
I'm going to say this for John. He definitely adds a lot of excitement to the thing.
He does.
We love you, John. But, you know, I go back to Coach Drake, and he brought up something that I think is really important, learning to win. There's a difference between having a good, talented squad and knowing how to win. You know, there are some teams who are physically outmatched, who are less physically talented, but know how to win when the other team doesn't. And that's something that if you can get something you can learn and something you can start getting confidence in, like in a game like this, because you know what, Monty? You can put the same players out on the field last year, Springtown wins. I mean, it really is as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn how to win.
This team is, I think it's all grown up.
Yeah, man, it's fun to watch these guys today.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Hey, 2-1 from McKinney Boyd. You got to be happy with that. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll have some stats. We'll have some highlights and all that coming up in just a moment. 43-36, McKinney Boyd holds on and wins tonight. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.